and the most blatant sports eminent domain horror show of all time is Chavez Ravine and the Dodgers and what they did to the poor people there in order to build Dodger Stadium. I mean, it's actually tragic and awful. But this isn't. This wouldn't be anywhere close to that. We're talking about a concrete business. We're not talking about people's homes and livelihoods and.
Well, we're talking about livelihoods.
Listen, I'm not anti-SRM concrete, for the record.
How many people does SRM employ?
A bunch. But they're, you know what? Do you really want to go down this concrete path?
Get it done or don't.
We'll see how it goes.
There's a light rail thing right out there at Lone Tree, right by it too. You could have it.
The funniest part of this whole story, it is no joke. There is, if you don't know this, on the E line all the way out to Ridgegate, there is a stop on the light rail called the Lone Tree City Center.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there. There's literally nothing there. It's a light rail stop, and the Lone Tree City Center is a field. There's no city, nor is it at the center. I mean, I guess it's in the center of a field, but they actually have that built already. So the ease in which the Broncos could do all of this is kind of preposterous compared to what they have to go through to get it done down there.
And
so props to them.
And if you moved it to Lone Tree, guess what? You still aren't the Bears.
You're not in a different state.
You're not in a different state.
Lone Tree is still in Colorado.
Yeah, it's still Colorado.
But I'm not an anti-downtown guy, so fine, get it done.
When you lived in Aurora and people say, hey, where are you from? Do you go Aurora or did you say Denver?
I said Aurora. I say it with pride. I got some Aurora, some silly Aurora pride going on. Because technically I lived in Centennial. The NCAA tournament lives on Altitude Sports Radio for coverage of the Sweet 16 on tomorrow. And we are pulling for Arkansas over Arizona. So Scott wins his pseudo bet with Aaron Gordon. It's kind of a bet. We'll see. Anyways, AM 950, Texas and Purdue, that starts at 5 o'clock. The NCAA tournament on Altitude Sports Radio is powered by the Reputation Law Group, specializing in divorce and DUI matters. To schedule a consultation with these attorneys, go to thereputationlawgroup.com. Hey, now. The Avs are back on the ice tonight, putting their 3-game winning streak on the line. So we want to thank you for listening to the Avs. Tune in to 92.5 tonight, starting at 5:30. Pre-game coverage of the Avs and Jets, powered by Ramos Law. It's your home for the best team in the NHL right here on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Thank you.
Come on, DMac, do the chicken dance.
Friend.
Remember Ed TV?
Congratulations to Joey McMullen. He's our winner. Thank you for being a friend, Joey.
Be myself. Dan, are you starting to like Zion the Family Stone a little bit?
Love it.
Again.
Way to go, Joey McMullen. Yeah, Lehkonen back tonight. If you missed it earlier today, and we're going to go down to Rhinehouse with, I see Andy. Is Andy with us?
He's frozen.
No, he's blinking.
Oh, there he is. God dang, I think he had the stairs. I think we got Andy in the stairs.
It's like the 1,000. He's not quite ready to go, but I see him. They're at Rhinehouse, which is an awesome place to watch games, and there's an Avs watch party down there tonight. So if you're looking for some place to go yell at Connor Hellebuck, that would be an awesome place for my wife to go.
Why don't you take your wife down there tonight?
It would be great. She gets in a zone. Maybe we will. I won't say we won't, because it'd be a great place to go to do that.
And she could yell at Hellebuck.
But you got to understand, she is in a, I don't know how to describe her psycho-ness and her rhythm for watching these games.
Female Andy.
It's like going to a sports bar or going to the game itself is oftentimes too distracting for her. Oh. She will tell me, no, I'd rather watch it on the 75-incher because I can see what's going on. And being at the game, like the only way she would go to a game if it was for another social reason.
Right.
Like we got friends Todd and Amy who are great, and like, okay, we're gonna go with this and that.
Dinner.
Or that my son, she would never in a million years just go to an Avs game with me. Do you understand that?
Right.
You get that? Can I tell you something else? This is not a lie. I got her a ticket for a Nuggets game because our friend Amy was shooting the first shot that she missed horribly. We were comparing her miss to Marvin Mims' miss the other day, and it's like, who missed it worse?
Was Marvin's bad? I didn't see it.
It's not good. I mean, he hit the rim, but it was like 1,000 miles an hour. It was nowhere close to going in. I get her a sweet ticket, with the company. It's great. And I'm sitting there, and then I'm in my little muggle chair, and I'm like, oh, look, there's a chair. You could sit right next to me. It's the Lakers game. So I'm sitting there, and the game's going to start. We've watched our friend take the shot, and my wife taps me. The game's going. First 5 minutes, she goes, well, I'm going to go home now. You're going home now? Like, now you're leaving? Now you're leaving? She goes, yeah, that's okay. I'll see him. I'll get the train. Because we live close to the train, so whatever, I'll get on the train and go home. And I said to her later, I go, well, you don't want to watch the Nuggets-Lakers game? She goes, no. It's not an Avs game. I am not joking to you, Scott. And it's not like she dislikes the Nuggets. She just doesn't like basketball.
But didn't you say you got her to watch a game recently, and she was like, oh, my gosh, okay.
I can't do anything about it. But her love and passion for the Avalanche, and she'll be on cloud 9 that Lehkonen is back tonight, and so should you. And you can watch the game with Andy down there. Andy, how are you, my friend? And is Spring with us? Spring is with us, too.
We're all here. We're all here, baby.
I want to present something to you guys. And we're making an argument for this being the greatest question ever of a press conference to Nikola Jokic. Are you ready for this? Now, picture yourselves in a...
you just play it. I've heard it. No, I want to picture myself somewhere. I heard it.
Picture yourself in a European...
I heard it a lot.
An outdoor European cafe patio.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Ooh.
Nikola... there's always a lot of emphasis on the stats, which are amazing. How important is it to you to play a beautiful type of basketball? Is it something you think of?
I mean, I don't know. Is it a beautiful? I think it's when we pass around, when we're getting open looks, it's beautiful. But I don't know. Is it really important? I would rather just win games than play beautiful.
Okay, I didn't even hear the question. I just heard the voice, and then I got lost.
Let's play you the question again, because this is the best part.
Listen to how he calls Nicola's name.
Yeah, just listen to the question.
The voice took me away.
Right.
And then the music.
We don't need the answer. Just
I felt like I was getting served wine.
Exactly. One more time just with the question, Dan.
Nicola, there's always a lot of emphasis on the stats, which are amazing. How important is it to you to play a beautiful type of basketball? Is it something you think of?
Now, here's the problem.
Isn't that great?
Here's my issue.
You're definitely smoking some sort of fancy cigarette to that, right? Spring and Andy?
Well, yeah, no, I got the vibe you're going for, but the guy's voice, do you remember the movie Hannibal? Do you remember the guy that he disembowels and pushes out the Louvre? That's what that voice reminds me of. So when I heard you guys playing that earlier in the hour, and all I could imagine was that dude we are at a sausage house, and that's what it looked like after he got pushed out the window.
Nicola.
Because Hannibal Lecter was not a big fan of that guy.
So we think of something on the Seine and a beauty and
but it's
art.
the voice. It's the voice
Andy,
and it's the accent.
We think of it one way as something gorgeous and beautiful, and you think of a mass murderer being splattered across a sidewalk.
Well, no, he was the detective. He was the detective.
I think
Hannibal got away, if you remember. Hannibal Lecter just went right out the window.
I think of Omar Sharif.
I think of something sophisticated. Andy's thinking of a body splattered on a sidewalk.
You cannot tell me if you remember that movie, and that scene stayed with me, that you don't remember that guy who thought he would bring Hannibal in by himself. Hannibal was the evil Jason Bourne, where they were like, don't try to take him alone. Remember Clarice is calling him and going, don't try to take him alone. You wait till we get there. And he has a lovely lecture about the 7 rings of hell, and he's talking about Dante's Inferno, and then he's just like, hey, let me show you. And out it comes, and the dude's just dangling there, and
what is wrong?
There's an American Horror Story that is the same type of scene.
This is a therapy
session.
Yeah.
What is wrong? What is wrong with Andy?
I'm gonna go to Spring and Andy, since he likes horror shows. So I want you to go back to the horror movie Exorcist.
Okay.
The original. And when the little girl Rachel turns her head all the way around 180 degrees to face the priest, what if as she turned her head 180 degrees, you heard this?
Nicola.
See, again, you got to remember, French.
That would be the most adorable, scary movie character of all time.
You know what? If you're the priest, you're going, you know what? Well, at least we're getting somewhere. At least I've calmed the voice down.
I wouldn't be scared at all.
Yeah.
That's so funny. All right, it's KKSE FM HD1 Broomfield Boulder. Broomfield, Denver, Boulder. That's
the guy does have a vibe, though. Look, I'll give you that. It's very swanky.
You should have seen when he was asking it, too.
You know what? Because I heard you describe it. DMac, I could see it all. Nice jacket, like you described it.
Actually, no.
He's got that European sit-back with the hand up on the other chair, kind of like this.
Yes.
It was a button-up
He pulling the
shirt.
Clooney leg cross there, probably, too, the George
How
Clooney.
important is it to you?
It was a button-up shirt with the big lapels and the first couple buttons undone.
I was going to say, little
leaning back.
Maybe not a Barry Manilow bearskin rug popping out of there because he's been groomed enough that it's just giving you a hint.
You're pretty damn close, though. He had the lean back, he had the arm over the chair, and he had the legs crossed. He did have.
So he's stereotypical European guys. What you're telling me?
It was a no rush. It's his.
I did like what Scotty said. We ought to make him the most interesting. You know, they're bringing back the most interesting man in the world.
I've seen that. Yeah,
they are.
Oh, yeah, they got a bobble. They never should have let the guy leave. I don't know why they let the guy leave.
Same guy?
Yes.
How old is that dude?
Who cares? In the history of pitchmen, he was the most perfect dude going.
I got you, but, I mean, we're putting 20 years on his life at this point. He's still the most...
He was the Mexican James Bond. Why did you ever get rid of him?
Well, I didn't have anything to do with it. I mean, it wasn't up to me.
Know. This might have been his illegitimate son asking that question last night.
All right. Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic will be remembered as what in Denver sports history?
Beautiful type of basketball.
Beautiful.
That guy should just do our show today.
Yeah, he's. You know what? There's a lot of ladies that would like to listen to him do a podcast, to be honest with you, is all I'm saying. There's a lot of 50 Shades of Grey in that voice, if you know what I mean. Hey, back in the day when that book came out, nobody needed any Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic to help get the wife's Evinrude cranking. I can tell you that.
Hello, ladies.
That book.
Hello.
All right.
Remember when, who was it, Phyllis read it in the office and they had to stop her? That's what that guy is.
Are you guys?
That guy just needs to talk basketball.
You
want to get your lady into basketball? Hunt that guy down and have him talk about it.
Springer, what's the best way to get you guys into your show? What's the best way to do
how
it?
about DMac, Scotty?
Why
don't you two go open your Duolingo and practice your Italian? And
what, the Rosetta Stone? Rosetta Stone's catching strays. We're not going to use that anymore.
Yeah, and
Babble.
And you guys can ask Nikola Jokic equally as beautiful questions.
No. See, DMac, here's the bit. Before you go, here's the bit.
All right.
I need Dan to record you.
Yes.
You got to be propped. Now, you got to find a shirt, my man. You got to go back into your – you may need to go to your dad's house to find a shirt. But I need you to put that shirt on, prop that pose, and just give me one attempt at that question.
Oh, that'd be funny.
And see if he entertains the question the way that Nikola entertained that guy's question.
Dude.
I think Nikola Jokic would.
Could you try it?
Sick Nemanja and Strahina on DMac.
It's so funny because,
Can you rough the hair up a little bit and try to just look slick?
I'm telling you, the way most people say it's Nikola and question, Joker and question like that. But the
Nicola.
Seriously, tomorrow.
Nicola.
Hey, just for this moment, maybe a little something from the old, the old hotel fridge before you get it going, so you're loose.
Yeah.
All right. Go practice that Italian accent.
I've got to see it. It's got to be real. That'll be the most famous YouTube short of all time if you do it.
God, that would be
But
hysterical.
you got to go full vibe.
All right, I'll see what I can do. All right, boys, enjoy it. Yes, Spring.
He's out. DMac is out.
See ya.
And he's at all the Nuggets press conferences. He's going to get kicked out of one of those things if
he tries that, he might.
Goes with an Italian accent.
That might be fun, though.
I get, Nikola Jokic, he's international. He brings out the international crowd. Whether you're Italian or Serbian, it's Europe. You just feel like a European can do anything.
See, that has a hint of classy Barcelona to me, the way that guy talks.
Oh yeah,
that
was I don't know if that was.
That's
Serbian.
a mysterious man that could be from many parts of Europe, not just one.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the Nikola Jokic and the triple double.
Well,
pretty good, huh? 3 straight games. I mean, 20-15-15 back-to-back games. We take it for granted, Andy. I mean, here's the thing. Here's what I've been thinking is, SGA is going to win MVPs, 1-2 straight. Everyone to talk about MVP, Luka, whomever, Wemby's great. No, the best player in the NBA for the past 5 or so years has been and currently is Nikola Jokic. That has not changed. Nothing is going to change coming up. He is the best player in the league. There are for some reason some people who don't want to admit it or acknowledge it or
I'm
accept it.
not even sure the league wants to embrace it sometimes.
What do you mean by that?
Look at the way the guy gets officiated.
Let's talk about that.
Are you kidding me?
Let's talk about that.
So the guy gets the worst whistle of any quote unquote superstar in the league. I mean, to me, the league doesn't even really hug it the way that it should, embrace it the way that it should, prop it up the way that it should.
He doesn't get the superstar whistle.
He doesn't get the superstar whistle. He doesn't. And again, if he is, let me ask you this. If you were really trying to show off how proud you are of the guy, what are you shoving him at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday night for? 10 o'clock East Coast. Not even that. 11 o'clock East Coast time.
I don't know. West Coast people are watching that game.
That's fine, but is that what matters?
It's because, if the Lakers were getting the Peacock game, they'd be 9 p.m. They just decided they wanted to do me and Berto talk about this. We think it's because Berto has said it's they NBC just gets the big nice deal. They pay Carmelo Anthony and whomever else is in their little Vince Carter. Is that what he's on? Peacock.
Tracy McGrady, I think, with him too.
They're paying him so much money that they're like, because you know what I love? I like it when the double header just rolls right into the next one. As soon as game 1 is over, game 2 starts right away. Maybe I think NBC Sports Network is a thing again. You can just start it on NBC Sports Network, put on the top of the screen Here's your score 2 minutes into the first quarter. We're getting to it as soon as this one is done. No, they got to go to Carmelo.
Right. We had to
and they
listen
got to
to
go to
all them
Maria
chat
Taylor.
about nothing
They have to
and-
justify paying them $1 billion.
Yeah.
And so we have to go on at 9 p.m. Mountain Time. And, the Nuggets, because they're Mountain Time Zone, they get bulked in with the West Coast people because they don't want to put them on at 5 o'clock or 5:30 Mountain Time when the East Coast game starts. So that's one of the downsides of the Mountain Time Zone is getting bunched in with the West Coast teams.
Yeah, I'm just telling you now we've talked about it plenty on this show. You've talked about it on your show. Nikola, we were happy he was doing a better job of laying off the refs. There are times where I think he hurts his own cause trying to argue with the refs too much. And so, I just think that, look, the guy needs to dial that back a little bit. But last night he had every darn right to be as upset about things as he was. That was it was a terribly officiated game. I don't know what Dallas did that they were so special that they got every touch foul out there that was going. How about the one I also thought was interesting? I was a little surprised that David Adelman didn't challenge. What about the one where Cooper Flagg, again, he jumps up and Cam Johnson gets the foul. Cam Johnson's just trying to get out of the way at that point.
Sure,
I don't even think Cam Johnson had any idea that Nikola had tried.
By half court, yes.
Yeah, where I think Cam was as surprised as anybody else. He's like,
Sure.
wait a minute, did he really just pass that?
There were whistles like that all night. There's whistles like, hey, I hate the little SGA.
The shove off.
Yeah, and you're just barely getting touched,
Yeah.
and they blow a whistle on a shot. You're seeing that across. Hey, take advantage of it, I guess, if that's what they're going to call.
So, well, but see, here becomes the problem. Here's where I do think it's something that the NBA does need to look at, period. My little brother was one of the biggest basketball fans I know, and I saw him today. We were chatting at lunch, and he goes, look, you know what was so refreshing? And Nate had talked about how great the college tournament was. He goes, in the college tournament, we're not seeing guys play for the foul more than the shot. I just like seeing guys just trying to go to the rim and get the shot there. Like in the NBA, as long as you keep rewarding this stuff, and you're right, it's fair to say that, the players aren't stupid for trying to get an extra shot or whatever, up another free throw or whatever. But to me, the NBA's got to decide, we need to quit rewarding this crap. That is what makes the game hard to watch. This collection of athletes, the smarts for the game, what these guys can do, how fast they're playing, how good guys are making shots. It is a really fun time in the NBA, and then it gets all bogged down with the last 3 or 4 minutes. And we watched it on consecutive nights, Spring, with both the Suns and the Mavericks, where all you're doing is going to the damn free throw line because everyone's trying to hunt a foul. And it just drives me out of my mind. I hate watching. Chris Marlowe even said it at one point late in that game. This thing is ground to a halt. We've got no pace to this game anymore.
I saw somebody tweet out if they'd given Jamal Murray the same number of free throws they gave Bam Adebayo, he would have dropped 90.
Yeah. Right.
And what do you have, 6 free throws last night? That was an efficient performance. Jamal Murray, and he's had several of these this year, and what's the thing I care about the most is that he's continued to do it into late March. I worry about his legs. I worry about he's the one consistent in the lineup this year. He's of the starters. Hardaway and Bruce Brown off the bench have been consistent. Murray's been the one guy who's been in the lineup all season long. He's taxed more miles than anybody else, and yet he continued. And on the second night of a back-to-back too, for him to have that jump, that is extreme. I think we're getting the best version of Jamal Murray in these playoffs.
Well, there's no doubt about it. And we never really got a chance to answer DMac's question because of our friend from foreign waters, I guess.
Maybe.
You think it is Italian?
It sounds like, I don't know, it sounds
Spanish.
like that. It could be Spanish? Something sexy.
Something
sexy regardless.
He had a sexy class.
Wasn't my voice, I'll say that.
Yeah. It was an American blogger guy, that's for sure. No, but back to the discussion about what will Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic go down as. Right now they're Sakic and Forsberg. Right now it'll be Jamal and Joker. And, they're both great enough to stand on their own and should, and yet they'll be paired at the hip forever. It's John Elway and take your, any number of teammates that you want. Again, look, I'm telling you, if you it's my statement that gets people more mad at me than anything, but I'm a guy that has lived here my whole life. I've seen a lot of Denver sports history. Nikola Jokic is going to be the most decorated, greatest athlete that comes out. And when it's all said and done, He's already got 3 MVPs. I still believe the guy's got the ability to win a second championship, probably needs to. For all we know, if they get their act together, it could happen this year. But there's never been a dude in Denver that had the entire league in the palm of his hand the way Nikola has for this long.
Yeah.
Terrell Davis had a hell of a 3-year run. I mean, a hell of a
Sure.
3-year run. But, again, it was 3 years. Nikola's already got 3 MVPs. Frankly, could have won 2 more. Should win another one this year, but won't. This dude I don't think there's ever been an athlete in Denver dominate his sport the way Nikola has.
Well, when you see his stat lines in the last few games, it's like people will be like, "Oh, it's 23, 17, and 17 the other night," and then damn near.
It should have been a 20-20-20 last night.
It should have been 20-20-20 last night, and
but Peyton didn't go and dunk that ball.
Some people could be like, "Oh, it's only 20 points." Yeah, but it's 20 assists and 20 rebounds.
And he still added 20 when his teammate went off for 53.
Yes, and he's doing it consistent. Like a triple, he wakes up and he gets a triple double. The odds you used a couple years ago, there were like even odds on would Nikola Jokic get a triple double tonight. They're like easy minus money now. I mean, the expectation is he's going to get a triple double on every night, But it's so routine and it happens so often that there's an overlooking of it because they take for granted when it's so consistent and so frequent that now he has to get to such a high bar to impress anybody at this point. That's only going to happen every now and again. I think he's a top 5 player in NBA history.
For sure.
I mean, it's Jordan, it's LeBron,
Wilt
Kareem, Wilt. You start thinking about Jokic right at number 5. I mean, we talked like there were off-season rankings. And he's not getting top 5 right now. They're not giving him top 5, but you watch this guy.
Especially if he goes another 10 years. Like, his game could allow him to go another 8 to 10 years.
The behind-the-back pass, bounce pass to Peyton Watson cutting to the lane. A number fake passes, no-look passes.
How about his little just dialed-in bunny from the middle of the key we were talking about?
He sees the game in 4D chess. It's incredible. And everybody's healthy now, Andy. Everybody is healthy right now because Arturi Lehkonen is back for the Avalanche tonight. We are at 100% health for the Nuggets and the Avalanche, and it's coming together at the perfect time, and it has always been the most important thing. Just be as healthy as possible, ideally 100%. That's kind of crazy, but that's where they are, 100% health, late March heading into the playoffs. I will sacrifice a little seeding. Now, with the Avalanche, you're not sacrificing any seeding, but for the Nuggets, if all of that took them to getting 100% healthy on this day, I think we are in a great spot.
Who ended up winning that Wolves-Rockets game?
The Wolves won in overtime.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I saw Nas Reed got tossed in OT.
Yeah, that was Ant's out for the Wolves, and
that game
Houston
went
had
crazy.
like a 8-point lead in overtime after Minnesota was leading most of that game. Then Minnesota came back and won. Yeah, Houston's slipping. And Kevin Durant's going to be out there, tweeting crap about his teammates on his burner account. You think any Nuggets players are doing anything like that?
No, thank God.
Oh, gosh. That's, you talk about A.J. Brown coming to the Broncos or something like that, or, any sort of NBA player that could, disrupt the chemistry for the Nuggets. You don't want to disrupt that chemistry. Kevin Durant, a little bit of a locker room nightmare right there. It is a Nuggets ticket Thursday, Andy.
That's
a Nuggets,
right. I keep forgetting what day it is.
It's a Nuggets ticket Thursday. I'm Mark Springer. He's Andy Lindahl. Nate Kreckman's out today and tomorrow. Mark Bertinoli will be with Andy tomorrow. But we are out at Rhine House on 14th and Market here in downtown Denver. Come on by. They got Major League Baseball opening day on the screens here on the
tournament
TVs.
Action tonight.
We got NCAA tournament, the Sweet 16 tipping off tonight, and we have the Nuggets and the Jets. Andy's going to stick around and watch the Nuggets and the Jets, the Avalanche and the Jets. Andy's going to stick around and watch that here at Rhine House starting at 6 p.m.
We've got prizes.
We got a Cale Makar signed stick that you can come out and register for. And what is that? A Nathan McKinnon signed photo? Ooh, that's a good one. That looks good. That would look good in my house, but I can't.
You're not eligible.
I can't win that thing.
Did he sign that angrily? That's the question.
That looks like an angry.
There's some big, like the big Nathan and the N and the M look like they are big swoops
Yeah.
right there. And that they will
It looks
show
like
at the
somebody
Twitch.
tried to hand Nathan McKinnon a
Yeah.
stuffed animal
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
before he signed that.
Hey, Nate, would you sign this stuffed animal for me? No, I
He's
don't.
just like, I'm done with this signature.
You're under contract to do it. All right.
Get away from me. All right, so that's all going on out here at Rhine House this afternoon and this evening. But when we come back, Andy, we will have a keyword for Nuggets Ticket Thursday, and we will be joined by Connor McGahee, the voice of the Avs. He will have the call for Avs and Jets tonight right here on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. It's Kreckman and Lindahl. We are back in 5. here on a Thursday. I'm Mark Springer in for Nate Kreckman. Andy Lindahl sitting to my left. We are out at Rhine House on 14th and Market. Stop by, say hi. Register to win a Cale Makar signed stick. It is also a Ticket Thursday. We have your chance to win tickets to see Golden State's final trip to Denver as they fight to make the play-in tournament. Text the keyword COPPER right now to 303-504-0925. That's COPPER with your first and last name, and you are entered. The Will Hite Law Firm gives you the chance to win big on and off the court. Visit them at willhitewins.com. Again, this hour's keyword is COPPER. We'll announce our winner just before Avs pregame at 5:30. Good luck. And speaking of the Avs, we are joined right now by the voice of the Avalanche. You'll hear him call tonight's game between the Avs and the Jets right here on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. It is our good friend, Connor McGahey. Connor, how you doing on this Thursday?
Good, boys. How's jolly old hot Denver, Colorado?
It's scorching. It's hot. It's hot outside. The Nuggets are hot. The Avs are hot. Correction from something I said in the first segment, Connor. And maybe you were listening. Maybe you weren't. You weren't. You're in Winnipeg.
He's in Winnipeg. I'm pretty sure he didn't have the ad.
Nick Waugh is hurt for the Avs. So the only Nugget or Av hurt right now is Nick Waugh. But Connor, Arturi Lehkonen is back tonight. Nazem Kadri's going to play on the third line, Connor, something like that. We finally get to see this team at full strength.
Yeah, I would, and he was there versus Pittsburgh too. I mean, he was on a line with Parker Kelly, Logan O'Connor, and they managed a goal and were very, very good together. But now it's very possible that you see Ross Colton, Nazem Kadri, and Logan O'Connor together. And I would think that when Nick Waugh comes back, that's where you put him, is on the wing on the third line, playing with Kadri and Nazem Colton and Ross Kadri, actually. God, it's been a long trip, fellas. But, yeah, I mean, you're getting so close to being full strength. Logan O'Connor returned for the first time in 69 games in Pittsburgh.
Nice.
And he played – yeah, I was waiting for you. And he played 15 and a half minutes, which is 2 minutes more than his career average. So he was feeling good. Jared Bednar said, why not throw him out there and get him conditioned, and we'll see how Arturi Lehkonen is feeling tonight. But I assume that he slots right in on that second line with Brock Nelson and Val Nichushkin. So all of a sudden, you just had one forward in, especially a top six forward, and this team looks extremely deep. And you're at 94% of your health going into the playoffs.
All right, I'm nervous talking. I hate talking about the health, Connor, because that's just the kind of guy I am. That I'm sure it's all around
Andy,
the hockey.
you have
it makes
to get.
me nervous.
You have to get over this. You have to get over this.
I'm not gonna.
We do talk for a living,
I'm not gonna, Mr. Look, Mr. Hexy Hex. I don't need you telling me to get over anything, pal. All right, what did you enjoy most about the way they played the other night with a couple other fresh bodies in the lineup?
Well, it wasn't the best game, to be honest. It was a little sloppy. Scott Wedgwood was phenomenal. But what I did like is that they scored on their opportunities, and that's been something we've talked about against the grain this year, is that they would dominate a game but wouldn't score, and then the other team would get just one or two bites of the apple, and it would go in. That was the Avalanche the other night. As they and forgive the sound check, which is, why is it always at full volume? I never understood that.
Hey, at least you're not singing the anthem, man.
One,
we're doing all right.
two.
Usually we get the anthem, right? So.
Goodness gracious me. But, yeah, no, I think that the opportunism that the Avalanche had the other day, and whether it was the Nathan McKinnon steal and goal, the Parker Kelly feed from Logan O'Connor, that's exactly sort of how they beat the Jets, speaking of Winnipeg, in that series 2 years ago, is they put all their opportunities in the net. And if that continues, then that's nothing but a good sign for Colorado.
Connor, let me put this question to you like this, okay? How close is Marty Necas to Mikko Rantanen, who is Mikko, by the way, conveniently not going to return from injury tonight in New York against the Islanders? Interesting that he will be ready to return this weekend. They seem to want to avoid Patrick Waugh's Islanders getting revenge on Mikko Rantanen from his dirty hit on Romanov earlier this season. But, man, I knew Marty Necas was going to be, a good player, but not on Mikko's level, but like right there, but not quite right there. Dude, Connor, I'm starting to think he's right there. That he's every bit the player Mikko is, and you got Jack Drury in that deal and other assets.
Yeah, and it's not an apples-to-apples spring, I don't think, but you can look at offensive production. People don't like using plus-minus as a metric, but if you do, what is it, plus 48 now that Marty Necas is to Mikko Rantanen's plus 2? I mean, what is that? It's not a small difference. I mean, that's a major difference between the two players. And Marty Necas almost a point and a half per game since coming over, already a career high in goals, a career high in points, getting to be a career high in assists. He'll be there before the regular season is over. But the amount of players that can think like and keep up with Nathan MacKinnon are very few. Now, Rantanen did it in a different way, I think, but the skating ability, the pure talent, and the brain that Marty Necas has links perfectly with Nathan MacKinnon, and that's why he's been able to have so much success. Probably my favorite shift of his, maybe as an app, was in the overtime in Washington, where he's 51 seconds into a shift, but he has the puck for 27 seconds, and he's able to hang on to it, not give it away. He's patient with it, waiting for Brock Nelson to sneak in the back undetected, and that wins the game for the Colorado Avalanche. Brock Nelson scored, but for me it was Marty Necas who made that happen. The amount of players who can do that, the way that they skate, the effortlessness, the constant energy that he has, mix that with the skill and the brain power, that doesn't come around very often. So I think that he's almost a better compliment for Nathan MacKinnon than Mikko was.
All right, when the Avs beat this Jets team in the playoffs, I remember at the end of the series, one Connor Hellebuyck saying, I couldn't see half the shots that they were taking. So in order for the Avs to get back to that tonight, what has to happen?
That's exactly right. I mean, you have a ton of big bodies out there. You're not missing – you don't have Nick Waugh, but, I mean, you're a lot bigger now than you were in that series, even size-wise. But you have – I mean, some of the best net front presences, and Val Nichushkin, Arturi Lehkonen, Gabe Landeskog is going to play. He didn't play, obviously, in that playoff series. Brock Nelson lives in front there. So this is exactly down the middle is how you're going to win. Before we were here 2 weeks ago, 12 days ago, actually, they were talking about the game before that every single goal that went in on Hellebuyck was a shot from the point deflected. And that's exactly what it has to be, and the Avalanche have to follow that playbook. So they have the video from all the way back then to 2 weeks ago. The problem that they had when they were here to start off the month was that they were too much on the perimeter and expecting for there to just be a wide open play there. That's not how Winnipeg plays defense. So you have to beat them up the middle. It has to be traffic, but you can't force passes and shots either. You have to have good patience combined with that.
Connor, when we're joined by Connor McGahey, voice of the Avalanche. You hear him on the call tonight. Right here, Altitude Sports Radio 92.5, Avs and the Jets, pregame 5:30. Connor, we'll have your call just after 6. Connor, let's talk about the goaltending. It looks like Mackenzie Blackwood is going to get the start tonight against Connor Hellebuyck and the Winnipeg Jets. I can't predict for the life of me most nights who Jared Bednar's going to go with. And it's interesting. Like Blackwood's going to end up getting 3 out of the 4 starts on this trip to the Chicago and the Washington start. Wedgwood excellent against the Penguins. Now back to Blackwood. Mackenzie's been looking better, but then the performance Scott Wedgwood had against the Penguins in Pittsburgh was phenomenal. Where does this goaltending room stand right now? Do we have any? Have you gleaned any sort of indication as who's starting Game 1 of the playoffs?
Nope, I haven't, and that's not a bad thing. Honestly, and that's fine. I mean, look, if you have 2 options, and if Wedgwood has a bad night, then you put in Blackwood. If Blackwood has a bad night, you put in Wedgwood. That's sort of how it works. And so, who says you have to determine a Game 1 starter of the playoffs? If you have 2 guys who can play, and remember we did in 2022. Kemper started, yes, but Pavel Francouz, people, how soon they forget that he came in and went 6-0 in that postseason, and the Avalanche don't win without 2 goaltenders. They don't. So who says that you have have that solid number one on opening night versus Nashville or L.A. or Seattle or whoever it may be. I think that if you have two goaltenders and one is playing better than the other and you have confidence in both, then that may be a conversation from days of yore. And, again, the Avalanche are spoiled where they are with two goaltenders, top 5 in the NHL goals against average.
Hey, I got a question I want to float off of you, Connor, and Andy, you as well. Connor, I don't know if you've been listening to the past couple editions of Between the Pipes after every Avs game on Altitude social channels, and if you've heard Alex Ryanemi's proposal, it's a lukewarm proposal, okay? Like, no one's digging their heels in on this, but just an idea. Could the Avs alternate goaltenders in the playoffs? Could they – I mean, they've been doing it all year. Why get them out of their rhythm? In fact, Raj looked at Linus Ullmark and Jeremy Swayman, their numbers, when they were a very good tandem a few years ago, and Boston was the best team in the regular season, but they got upset in round one of the playoffs. Well, they're alternating Ullmark and Swayman all season long. Then they commit to Ullmark in the playoffs. He appeared to get – he gets gassed as that series goes along. Could the Avs make history? Is that too risky to alternate goaltenders in the playoffs?
No, I don't think so. Again, whether it's alternating as a schedule or again, just who's the better goalie, right? I mean, that's entirely possible. I think that would be totally fine, and could also, if the team's okay with it, in front of you, then that also keeps the opposition guessing a little bit. And it keeps the mileage down. That's one of the critiques. I was on 3 different shows here in Winnipeg today, and one of the hosts was talking about the fact that the knock on Connor Hellebuck, because in the postseason, is because it's been a one-horse show here with the Jets. And he, expends everything. Well, last year he has 47 wins, wins the Hart Trophy. But the reason that when the playoffs show up, the mileage counter is up there. And maybe there's a lot to do with that. So it would not be out of the realm of possibilities for the Avs to do that in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, I guess, Connor, the thing that's just interesting for me, and I know that this is a hot topic and a fun topic, and let's be honest about it, it's more fun to debate the goalie than have stress about whether Dallas is going to catch you, which is still a possibility, but at least you're starting to get yourself a little bit of breathing room right now. Here's my argument for Scott Wedgwood. I don't even know if it's a question. It's a discussion point. You can feel about it how you want to and respond or whatever. But for me, Wedgwood, again, I got no problem with both of them. And I don't know how this is going to finish down the stretch, and that doesn't mean that's how it's going to start up next year if it were Wedgwood over Blackwood. The thing that I've been so impressed with, Connor, the thing that I think, because the Avs, as they get everybody back and they're finding their game and Gabe's fully integrated again and whatnot, the thing that has been incredible to me, especially the first 2 months of the season, I felt like the Avs are making some of the defensive mistakes that were leading to the breakaways we saw in the Pittsburgh game at home when they lost that one, or some of the things that have cost some goals. It's just that Scott Wedgwood at times has been otherworldly this year, Connor. Especially the 2 months of the first 2 months of the season, I felt like the guy had somehow found a way to find Patrick Waugh and put him in his body from back in the 2001 season. That's what I've been so impressed with. That's what I found incredible. Now, look, if that snaps and goes away, I understand that you want to have a Blackwood ready, but I guess the only thing that surprises me about the going back and forth, Connor, is just that Wedgwood, and you said it the other night, the guy has stolen some saves and thus victories for you to this point. Mm-hmm. That's why I lean towards him if there's a long-term answer. For this season alone, and I'm only talking this season.
Sure. No, I don't disagree either. I mean, you play the goalie who's playing the best, and if that's Scott Wedgwood, you don't have to feel like you have to get Mackenzie Blackwood starts in the postseason. Now, I think that's different in the regular season. There is something to be said for getting a goaltender going because you want everyone, when the playoffs start, that second, third week of April, you want everyone feeling their very best, and goaltenders included. So you don't want both of them excluded, two guys who are, convinced maybe in their heads that they're supposed to be at number one. And look, they are friends, and it is a competition. And they know that you have to play the best. And Scott Wedgwood has really taken that to heart this year. Hasn't had the games missed that Mackenzie Blackwood has, which I think is always tougher for a goalie to find that groove again. But look, I think that Wedgwood in all his years in the league has seen this opportunity and seen the team in front of him, and stylistically has fit and reads the game really, really well, is incredibly smart. You heard him talking after the shootout win last week about how he studies everyone's moves, and his homework is to check out and see the other team shooters, see what their tendencies are, backhand, forehand, shoot, 5-hole, you name it. And all the work has come together, and it's worked for him so far. So if that is your hottest goaltender in game number one, then you start him. And if things go away a little bit in the first round or beyond, then you have another option. But he's had more performances, I think, that we've talked about, despite the fact that Mackenzie Blackwood has more shutouts with 3. I think Wedgwood has had more performances that we've been talking about the next morning than the other goaltender all season.
All right, we'll let you go on this, but I am kind of I'm a little curious about for you, Connor. First off, what's the weather like there?
I was going to ask the same question.
Is it like freezing cold? I've heard that Winnipeg is
Pure
never
winter.
nice from our Canadian friends.
Pure winter. I mean, it's
Really?
absolute. It's 15 degrees outside.
Is Keefe on the trip?
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
so remember,
Riker-
obviously, when he
Riker,
was in Winnipeg many years ago and he was freezing his Gabe Landeskog's off.
Yeah, he decided he wouldn't show up anymore. All right, why is Gary Bettman refused to change back to the normal seating policy? Why is he so dug in on this, Connor? Have you heard anything in your
I really
travels,
don't.
talking to the other hockey media? I mean, what are we so dug in on this for?
The only reason that it fits is, according to them and the research and their numbers, viewer-wise, remember, sports are based on TV and television power. To them, the first-round matchups, because of this format, gain more viewership for the most part than to, according to them, what would be if it was 1-8 or 2-7, et cetera, et cetera. So it's the first-round matchup. They say, look, the Cream's going to rise to the top anyhow. A Dallas-Colorado matchup to a lot of people should be the Western Conference Final, but they would make the argument, and I don't disagree, that, hey, there's no guarantees. I mean, it's not every day that an 8 upsets a 1 or a 7 upsets a 2, but it does happen. So for them, I think it's about viewership in the first round in particular. They like to think that people are going to watch the Stanley Cup Final no matter who it is. And so if they can get their more competitive, ideal rivalry matchups in the first round, that's why they're going to stick with it, even though there's more pushback from general managers around the league. Bill Guerin in Minnesota has been real vocal about this. So the only time it would change is if GMs talk to their owners who employ the commissioner and say that, hey, for our purposes, this really needs to change. But I think it has more to do with an eyeballs and a financial standpoint than anything else.
All right, well, do any of us like it? No, but we're guaranteed, Colorado, Dallas, or Colorado, Minnesota in the second round. It's going to be great TV.
We're not guaranteed that yet, technically.
Oh, no. It's the Avs are going to take care of business,
All right,
Andy.
All right.
And
here we are, all just testing the demons. Go ahead.
I'm not afraid.
I'm glad you're not.
Connor McGahey, everybody, you
glad
listen
you're
to
not.
him tonight. Avs Jets, pregame 5:30, puck drop just after 6, right here on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Connor, have a great call tonight.
Will do, boys. Thanks.
All right, there he goes, the voice of the Avalanche, Connor McGahey. It is a Ticket Thursday. We have your chance to win tickets to see Golden State's final trip to Denver as they fight to make the play-in tournament. Text the keyword COPPER right now to 303-504-0925.
Kappa.
With your first.
Hey, Kappa. Is that it?
Okay,
Do you have to say it like that?
My brain did not go in that direction.
You're thinking of the ski mountain, but
I thought of Copper Mountain,
no,
yes.
I think of like
Or
1950s bad guy.
what pennies were made of. But no, I like that. Copper.
Hey,
You'll never
Copper.
catch me alive, Copper. That's my old school 1920s guy is one of my favorite voices, huh? Love talking like that. Why do they talk like that? It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I've never run across anybody that actually talks like that. But that's what they talk about. Say everything was say. They even did it in Bugs
Say,
Bunny.
buddy.
Someone's got to find the movie. If you know, text in 303-504-0925. What stupid movie is that from? That everybody kind of talks like that. Say.
Like, I don't know. It's a Wonderful Life or something like that.
No, I don't think so.
Jimmy
I've seen
Stewart.
that one.
Did Jimmy Stewart
Maybe
talk like
he
this?
did, but no, not like that the whole time. Although I guess he did. He got a little of that going. You listen to me, say, before he gets all.
It's the roaring 20s. Everything's going so fast. Got to talk really fast.
Yeah.
303-504-0925. Text Copper with your first and last name, and you're entered. The Wilhite Law Firm gives you the chance to win big on and off the court. Visit them at wilhitewins.com. Again, this hour's keyword is Copper. We'll announce our winner just before Avs pregame at 5:30. Good luck. When we come back, Andy, the Broncos talked with a quarterback prospect today.
You're not happy about it.
I'm just intrigued by it, and we'll talk about that next.
Guys, Andy Lindahl here for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. Now here we are out on remote again, and it's for some reason about when I go out on remote, people watch Twitch and YouTube and seem to notice the old weight loss a little bit more. You know, I got this help through the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, getting back down to a weight that's really comfortable for me and I'm comfortable with, I'm happy about. It started with me going in there and getting the low testosterone treatment, looking at my T levels. You know, low testosterone is a real issue for a lot of men, and it can lead to a lot of things like brain fog, reduced sex drive, low gains in the gym, low energy, poor sleep, all that. And now, not only does the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic help you with your testosterone levels, but they've got 4 new targeted body composition plans to help support metabolism, improve gains in the gym, and more, featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1, PDA, and more. I'm on the GLP-1 right now. I've been on the testosterone for a while, been doing the GLP-1. It's been just working wonders for me. Down over 40 pounds, looking to get down 50 total, hoping to hit the goal weight of 200 here in the next couple of weeks, and it feels like that's really attainable. And this is all helpful, all done through the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. They help me go in, get that first visit done, let them test your T levels, discuss all these programs with you. They got great brochures on all of the different programs that they can offer you. First visit there is $99, costs you just the $99 with a T and a PSA test. But if you start on testosterone treatment the day you visit, that appointment's free. So go get in there, have a discussion with them, and help them find what you'd like to look like again. I have a lot of guys reaching out and asking me about this stuff. Yeah, you can start looking like you wanted to, even though you may be in your 50s like me. 720-440-7900. 7900 is the number. 5 locations to serve you, including Fort Collins and the Springs, and a great revamp location in Castle Rock. Find them at RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
It's Kreckman and Lindahl. I'm Mark Springer in for Nate Kreckman with Andy Lindahl. We are out at Rhinehouse. We will be here. I will be here with Andy until 5:30 when this show will conclude, and we will start Avalanche and Jets pregame coverage on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5 at 5:30. Andy's going to stay. He's going to stick around. And
We're going to watch some hockey.
He's going to watch some puck with you guys tonight here at Rhinehouse. Andy will stick around and watch the Avs and the Jets with you guys. We are giving away a Cale Makar autograph stick. You can register to win that here. There's a Nathan McKinnon signed photograph. And you can spin this wheel and win other cool little prizes. So get down here to Rhinehouse on 14th and Market. Come hang with us tonight and this afternoon at Rhinehouse. It is also a Nuggets ticket Thursday. We're giving away Nuggets Warriors tickets. So we'll get your next keyword for that at 4:20. And then another again at 5:20 before we are out of here. Lots going on at Rhinehouse today, Andy. They have Major League Baseball opening day on. The game on here was Brewers-White Sox. It's a final score out in Milwaukee. The Brewers beat the White Sox 14-2. 14-2, Andy. So the Rockies open tomorrow in Miami against the Marlins. Better or worse for their American League counterparts, the lowly White Sox, lost 14-2. Will the Rockies do better or worse than the White Sox tomorrow against the Marlins?
Push. Could be the same score. I don't know. They've got a very sad White Sox pitcher up there right now as we're watching it on us and on the TV in front of us there. But
poor
yeah,
guy.
I don't know who the heck. So we've got, I guess, Kyle Freeland, Kevin Freeland.
Kevin Freeland's going tomorrow.
Some
people
for
call him
opening.
Kevin.
Yeah. Kyle, don't call me Kevin. Mad Dog Freeland is getting it done. But yeah, I don't know.
So baseball's back, baby.
Well, you know what?
The White Sox are back, and the Rockies are about to be back.
How about this? Because didn't Paul Skeens get touched up pretty good today against the Mets?
He did.
So that's the good news. Pitching's not always dialed in quite yet. Okay. So maybe some of those young Rockies bats, and maybe even did they bring in an old bat? I can't even remember. All they brought in were mainly pitchers, right? A couple of pitchers.
Mickey Moniak's back.
Yeah, maybe the young bats take advantage of Miami. Is Miami good? I know
they're a little better than the Rockies, but they're not very good.
I was going to say, what I know about the Marlins is every year they've got better prospects than everyone, but then they don't want to pay any of them.
And they trade them all.
Yeah, then they get rid of all of them. But they usually are good
they
enough
restock. They trade guys.
They will, yeah. Well, there is that. But unfortunately, if you're a Miami fan, they don't ever stockpile what they've traded together and put a good team together.
Yeah, that franchise has been struggling.
But they've shut out. Haven't they no-hit the Rockies? Didn't their pitcher that died in the boating accident? Didn't he no-hit him?
For Jose Fernandez.
Yeah, didn't he
no-hit the Rockies?
I thought he did early in the year.
I know
once.
he has a no-hitter. I can't remember. I'll have to look that.
I thought it was in Miami early in the year. He no-hit the. I might be wrong, but I thought he did one.
Well, the Rockies are. There's going to be at least one no-hitter this year. Rockies are a candidate. Always a candidate.
I was going to say, aren't they always? Although, what is a no-hitter even cool anymore? Because aren't you going to use about 4 pitchers to get that done?
Well, the combined, I don't like the combined. I mean, the combined no-hitter's fine, but it does nothing for me. I don't get excited about a combined no-hitter. No-hitters also, in general, they've lost their luster. It's like Bam Adebayo scoring 83 points. It's
all right.
Cool, but
Let me ask you a few of these then. So is the no-hitter, you're saying the no-hitter's not as cool because it's likely not going to be done by one guy, right?
No,
which to me then isn't really
just
a no-hitter.
It's been done so many times.
The combined no-hitter is not the same as a no-hitter.
No, of course not.
But how about this then? Is a 100-yard rushing game cool?
If it's one guy.
Remember that was? Yeah. But remember that used to be the mark?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think.
You're not saying you're very convincing.
A 200-yard rushing game gets me excited.
Or 150?
150 gets me a little excited. 100's really nice. Don't get me wrong. I like that. But that's not like I'm watching something. When you're watching a no-hitter, you're kind of watching something special, something a little out of the ordinary that's tougher to do. I know for the Broncos, getting a 100-yard running back is like – now, yeah, if the Broncos get a 100-yard rusher, throw a parade. That's a big day. Shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah. How about this? Is Nikola Jokic for people ruining the triple-double?
He might be.
Because, again, it's
Even
very
though-
cool, but it just happens all the time with him.
You're just desensitized.
Now, I don't think if you're a Nuggets fan, you should not take this for granted, right?
I think that's
But
the word I was looking for in the first segment. Was
you get desensitized.
Desensitized, yeah.
Weren't they saying that about Westbrook, though, when he was going on his triple-double tear?
Well, but see, again, with Nikola, I don't know that people celebrate a triple-double the way they once did. I mean, it's becoming just on every broadcast. Heck, they were joking, would he get it before the half the other night again in the Phoenix game?
But they're all Jokic. Like,
No,
Jokic
I
is
know.
responsible for the vast majority of these triple-doubles. So it's
And Westbrook was very good
He
in his
was
prime,
too.
too.
He was too. In fact, so Nikola Jokic is the first player in NBA history to record 60, 50, 50 plus over a 3-game span. He joins Russell Westbrook, who did something similar in May of 2021. Jokic and Westbrook are the only two players with 50, 50, 50 in 3 games. So Jokic upped him by 10 in the points category. Yeah, Russell Westbrook was the last player to do stuff like this, but Jokic is – how many more years do you think he has left? And we'll get to our Broncos thing and the quarterback thing here in a second. But
I think he's got a decade in him if he wants to. Again, he's got an ageless game because he's not playing it above the rim. Like, again, now Aaron Gordon's created a three-point shot for himself, but prior to the last couple of years, Aaron Gordon's game was above the rim and dominant. Now, again, he's still a very physical player, and how much time does he want to give it and dish it out? He's probably still the Nuggets' most physical player. Maybe a little bit debatable with Jokic, but Aaron Gordon gets in there, does the dirty stuff, and is afraid of it. But, Joker's got – look, he gives that little bunny jump, and now he's getting the half shot. His passing, his vision, none of that's ever going to go away. He could go another decade if he wants to.
But people act like, he doesn't love basketball. So, therefore, when he's 30, at the end of his next contract, which he's going to sign this summer, it appears. So, I think it's going to be something like a 4-year deal, but, the Supermax version of a 4-year deal. That he could be done after that, which would put him.
I don't think so anymore.
36 or
I think that thinking's going away, and I'll tell you why. The more and more I watch him, go look and we had all those clips from the Serbian interview a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I think he's become. He feels like I don't know how else to put it other than this. A little more Americanized to where he's not minding America so much. I don't think he's quite as desperate to get back there, and quite honestly. The guy is getting really stinking rich doing this. Why would you not, as humble a superstar as he is,
it's a lot of money to leave on the table.
Right. And I think he knows it, and I think he values it. I think he knows he's lucky to have the ability to make this kind of money. And the way he talked in that interview with the Serbian interviewer a couple weeks ago where he said, I'll play as long as I'm great at this. Well, again, if he can continue to pile up triple-doubles and do a behind-the-back pass to a guy on the run while making little mid-range jumpers that still are the most clutch shot at the end of the game, why would he step away from that?
Well, he's got old man game. He's always had old man game.
He's like Andre Miller. Andre Miller played forever.
If you already have old man game, then when you are an old man, which is 7-8 years from now,
and they're going to pay you $40 million a year, and that could be a drop down for your old man game. Are you going to say no to that?
He loves this. Like, that's one of the biggest, stupidest misconceptions about Nikola Jokic is that he doesn't really love this. No, he was kind of he didn't go to the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic like you, Andy, but he
should have.
He liked to drink some Coca-Colas, and he was a bigger fella. He worked his tail off to get into the shape that he's in and the way he sees the court. You can't do that if you don't love this. He's just humble. And people mistake that for him not loving the game. So, yeah, I think guys don't like to – they miss the game. A lot of guys miss the game when they retire, and they hold on to it for as long as they can.
Don't tell me that Nikola Jokic doesn't love competing either.
Just competition in and of itself. Yeah.
I think Joker enjoys the guys, but like John Elway, I do think John Elway enjoyed the guys, but the really great ones, John Elway, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, the guys of that ilk. Michael Jordan is another one that you think a lot about. Magic Johnson, LeBron James, no matter what you think about him, I promise you, those guys are going to miss the competing, beating you, being better than you. That's what drives a lot of those dudes, too. Jokic should be that guy.
So yesterday was the 5-year anniversary of the Aaron Gordon trade, and I think Jokic was asked about it after the game, and he said he cried when Gary Harris got traded. Gary was a really solid backcourt piece for Jokic, and they flowed well together, and they had great performances. That meant something to Jokic. And Gary's a good person too, but losing Gary Harris hurt Nikola Jokic, and so you don't think that man cares,
Right?
You know, and it's not. It's Gary's a good teammate off the court, but on, like, Jokic, when he gets a good teammate that he's like, oh, you play the game the right way. You get it. You have an IQ about you. You're athletic and you're talented, but you know your spots on the floor. Aaron Gordon, did he say he was his favorite player to ever play with? He's top 5.
Jokic was one of his
top
favorite
5.
teammates.
Well, Gordon, his game meshes perfectly with Jokic's. Gordon knows where he needs to be on the floor in order for Jokic to find him. And that means something to Nikola Jokic when his teammates, when another player can start to see the game the way he sees it.
Yeah, I would say so.
So lots more Nuggets conversation coming up today as the Nuggets sweep the back-to-back in Phoenix and at home against the Mavericks. I'll tell you right now, Andy, and we'll get to this at 4:20. We're going to talk replacement refs at 4:20 in the NFL. We got a little bit of a snafu that you were telling me about going on there. And the Broncos brought in, or they had a Zoom meeting with Rutgers quarterback Athan Kaliakmanis. So the Broncos, look, some Rutgers quarterback, are they drafting a quarterback? What does that mean for Jared Stidham?
We'll have to talk about that after
We'll talk
the
about
top
that
here
at 4:20 as well.
There's some thoughts.
Yes. So Broncos and NFL talk coming up at 4:20. But we're going to start the NFL conversation on the other side of this break with Ryan McFadden of ESPN.com. He covers the Las Vegas Raiders. We're going to get into the Max Crosby trade, what's going down in Raiderland. A fascinating team, those Las Vegas Raiders. Ryan wrote a great piece on ESPN.com this week about the Max Crosby situation, and we're talking to him next. All right, it's Kreckman and Lindahl, Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. I'm Mark Springer in for Nate Kreckman on this Thursday. Andy and I are out at Rhine House, 14th and Market. Stop by. Andy's going to stay and watch the Avs and the Jets with you guys here tonight. Got a signed Cale Makar stick we're giving away, signed Nathan McKinnon photo. Come see us today at Rhine House. It's also a Nuggets ticket Thursday. We'll get your keyword for Nuggets Warriors tickets 20 minutes after this hour. But right now we go out to the Ramos Law Hotline, and we welcome in, covering the Las Vegas Raiders for ESPN.com. He's on Twitter at Ryan McFadden _. It is Ryan McFadden. Ryan, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so you wrote for ESPN.com this week. Headline, how the Raiders-Ravens trade of Max Crosby fell apart. I think what caught my eye the most, and probably most everyone else from your piece, was the Ravens' concern that there is a degenerative issue in Max Crosby's surgically repaired knee. What did you learn about that, and any other specifics of why Baltimore backed out of the Max Crosby trade?
Yeah, just for starters, it was kind of surprising that the Ravens was the team to end up meeting the Raiders' request at the time of 2 first-round draft picks. You know, the Raiders had never traded first-round draft picks for a veteran player in their franchise history. So from the start, it was kind of surprising that they went in that direction to do that. And, you know, right at the time, it rightfully so. Like, despite the injuries and surgeries Max Crosby had throughout his career, he still maintained that position as being one of the best edge rushers in the National Football League and one of the top overall defensive players in the National Football League. So, yeah, so going from there is just that, the Raiders gave the Ravens as much information as possible, or what they felt like that the Ravens needed to kind of make that decision. And at the end of the day, it's a very subjective thing. What the Raiders doctors may have a concern with may be different from what the Ravens may seem as a concern. And what they brought Max Crosby in the building, gave it a further look. They probably looked at the long-term, had the long-term outlook and said, hey, as much as good as Max Crosby is as a player, just given just the state of his knee for the long term, it might not be worth 2 first-round picks. So at the end of the day, everyone's going to have an opinion of who they believe is right or wrong, or how everything played out. Timing makes things a bit shaky, but, the Ravens were within their right to make that decision to pull the plug.
All right, so I love the article, and, it's always kind of tricky when we do this because we want people to go read your article, right, Ryan? It's worth the deep dive into this thing. So I don't want to steal all the nuggets that you have in there, but what was because you got both sides of this thing. You got help from a couple other ESPN staffers. It's a great read. What was the biggest thing that maybe caught you off guard or surprised you about why this thing fell apart?
I think that, to me, what caught me a bit off guard is just kind of like the Ravens went into it knowing that, the knee was a concern. And I thought, okay, if they're making this type of move, they're aiming to capitalize on their Super Bowl window right now. So that was kind of surprising there, where it's like, you kind of like, you go into a situation and all right, this is what we're given. And not on top of that, Max Crosby is, was at the time less than 2 months removed from offseason from a torn meniscus repair surgery. So that right there was kind of surprising. There is like, the fact that, like I said, the fact that an organization that is very hesitant in trading away their first round picks. In fact, they jumped on and tried to make this deal. That right there was surprising, especially already having the concerns with the knee. And then also, too, the Cowboys. It was always talked about Cowboys being among the teams interested in Max Crosby, but they were very, really aggressive, giving 3 offers for Max Crosby. So you kind of look back at everything as well. If the Ravens had those concerns, why did they engage in those talks from the beginning, right? Or offer those 2 first-round picks? And then if they never did that, will we be in a situation where Max Crosby is a member of the Dallas Cowboys right now?
See, and it's crazy because, again, Ryan, the night the news broke, I called into my partner here. He does a late-night show, and I called into him, and I said, because I've been around the NFL forever. So what you hit on, I think, is what people sometimes is getting glossed over. The Ravens had to know he wasn't going to technically pass the physical, right? Quote, unquote, pass the physical. The teams can pass anybody on a physical that they want to. It's not like it's some big binding deal. I know a bunch of former Bronco players who basically were passed because the deal was right and the team knew, all right, we got to rehab this guy. So to your point, I mean, do you think just your, with all the information you now have, how much did Trey Hendrickson being available and not having a market the first 2 days affect this? There had to be something there, didn't there, Ryan?
I think I wouldn't say it 100% played a part, but I think it does have an impact there because it goes to this question. Let's look at this. If Trey Hendrickson, let's say, went back to Cincinnati or he went to another team before this deal was finalized, do they just roll the dice and just, take Max Crosby? That's one thing I'm very curious about. I know, like, the Raiders said they entertained the possibility. The Ravens entertained the possibility of pairing Max Crosby with Trey Hendrickson. But still, I feel like that seeing Trey Hendrickson's price go down and they were able to get a deal done with him, I think it made it more easier to kind of sit back and say, hey, you know what? We're not going to give 2 first-round picks for Max Crosby. So I think Trey Hendrickson's availability made it a lot easier to make that decision.
We are talking with Ryan McFadden. He covers the Las Vegas Raiders for ESPN.com. He wrote about why the Ravens and Raiders Max Crosby trade did not go through this week for ESPN.com. Ryan, what's next for the Raiders and Max Crosby? The Raiders signed a bunch of really solid free agents, like a lot of them.
And Ryan's got great stuff about the meeting they had when that all went down.
And they've committed a lot of money to that, thinking that Max Crosby's money wasn't going to be on their books anymore. And, whoopsies, Max is back. What happens next?
For the Raiders at the moment, it's business as usual. From the beginning, they never wanted to trade Max Crosby. That's one thing. So they're bringing back a guy they necessarily didn't want to trade from the beginning. That was more of Max Crosby wanted to leave more than anything, and he had every right to, tell the front office, hey, I would like to move on. Because think about, he's been through this whole rebuild thing and new coaches and all this every year, and still the same results. He has only made 1 playoff appearance since he entered the league in 2019. So, but, he's back. I feel like, he's open. He's said it publicly. He's said it internally in the building that, he's ready to play for the Raiders in 2026 and kind of like using this whole fallout as motivation. And quite frankly, he's going to a situation where it's slightly better than it was last year. You add two talented inside linebackers and Kobe Dean, Quay Walker. You got Malcolm Kuntz coming back, and he's going to be more than a year removed from torn ACL. You get Kwity Paye, so you have more depth on the edge rusher. So now you're looking at a situation where there's concern since there was concerns about potential long-term issues. He's coming into a situation where the Raiders have a better shot at navigating his snap count and where he doesn't have to continue to be on the field every single down just because they added a lot more talented depth from the edge rusher standpoint. And also, too, I know a lot of Ravens fans and Raiders fans are like, can we just get over this? We're tired of hearing about it. It's over. The Ravens got their edge rusher. Max is back in Las Vegas. Can we let this go? And I don't think we're going to let this go anytime soon because – it's still to the point that the Raiders are still a rebuild team. And Max Crosby wanted to move on because he didn't want to be a part of another rebuild. So if you look at a situation here, I don't think anything's going to happen at the trade deadline. At the draft, unless it's like, the Cowboys go back and say, hey, would you want one of these 2 deals we offered you before the Ravens jumped in? I don't think it's necessarily I think he will be in a Raiders uniform when the season starts in 2026. It gets interesting at the trade deadline because we're in a situation where the Raiders are struggling and Max Crosby is still playing at a high level. And, the Raiders' asking prices are going to remain high for their franchise cornerstone. So does a team who feels like they're a Max Crosby away from making a Super Bowl push say, you know what, we're just going to, screw it. We're just going to give you the picks and we're going to make a run for the Super Bowl this year. And we'll figure everything. We're going to figure out the long term later, right? So that's where I think it's going to get interesting, the trade deadline, where there is a possibility you're going to hear his name in trade rumors once again. It's going to heat up once again around that time because, like I said, this is still a rebuilding team. And if the Raiders are still showing signs that, hey, we're a year or we're 2 years away from actually being a contender, does a team jump in and meet the Raiders' demand just to capitalize on a Super Bowl winning window at the moment?
That is really good stuff from Ryan McFadden. He covers the Raiders for ESPN.com. Follow him on Twitter at Ryan McFadden _. He wrote today about Tom Brady asking the NFL about a possible comeback and the NFL not liking that. Go check that out on ESPN.com right now. Ryan, thank you for coming on the show today. We really appreciate you.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, there he goes, Ryan McFadden of ESPN.
Read that article. It is fascinating because, again, they've got it from both sides, both teams' sides.
Yeah, and it's a great piece by Ryan. And look, he thinks Max Crosby is going to be on the Raiders to start this season. I didn't know. Could he get traded still?
Well, in spring, you and Sperto talked about it the night that this all went down. What does the NFL do because of this? Now, again, I thought there might be more dominoes. That's why you asked the question. Were the Raiders going to have to back out of some free agent agreements because of this, because of their salary cap situation? Allegedly, they got the money to absorb everything that they've done and keep Max Crosby in the building. I still don't believe that's really what they wanted to do. I know Ryan said that, and he talked to other people, so I'll trust that he's got that information. But deep down, I feel like, again, they wanted to be able to move this guy on because he is a guy that he is a superstar that probably is going to want to play for something. And, even with all these changes, if they're playing a young quarterback, and, I don't know if it's going to be Kirk Cousins there as some of the rumor, although I don't know if they can afford a Kirk Cousins now with all this stuff going down, right? That rumor may die really quickly. I just wonder how this changes how teams do business in that 3-day period so you don't have another one of these things happen.
What if the Raiders are better?
What if they are?
And they add all these free agents. Apparently they're going to be able to make the money work with, all the money they spent thinking Crosby was leaving. But then he's back, and apparently they have room for all of it. And, they're probably getting Fernando Mendoza, unless you're Dan Orlovsky. They're taking Ty Simpson. Bauer's healthy. Genty, year 2. Clint Kubiak seems like he's something. He's got that upside. Coach, do you like Coach Upside? Because that's a coach with upside.
Yeah, sure.
Now, they all have upside,
yeah.
Pete Carroll was...
Just remember, once upon a time in Denver, Josh McDaniels had coach upside, too.
Did you see Nate sent us this tweet? Rich Gannon deleted this tweet, but I can still read it here in our Twitter thread.
It's good to see people actually working.
Rich Gannon tweeted a day or two ago, at the Raiders facility for an appearance this evening, and it's nice to see head coach and the assistants grinding away after dinner, getting ready for the draft. Building something special takes incredible effort and dedication. And then Nate wrote, look out. The Raiders are apparently working evening hours.
I wonder why Rich Gannon deleted that tweet. I'm more fascinated by that now.
Somebody must have been like, hey, man, this makes it sound like we didn't work evenings before.
Hey, wow, I saw someone in the building past 6 o'clock. Or maybe they're not supposed to be working that late this time of year, too.
It is a new era of Raiders football. They are working evenings, folks. The grind doesn't stop in Las Vegas now that Clint Kubiak's in town and Tom Brady's year 2 running the show. We are out at Rhine House. Andy Lindahl.
You got to come on by, watch this big Avs-Jets game tonight. And, again, they turn around and play again Saturday.
Yep.
So it's a double dipperoo in a different way.
Yeah, Jets at home on Saturday, but tonight they're in Winnipeg. Pre-game 5:30 right here on Altitude Sports Radio. And we'll have puck drop just after 6. Andy's going to stick around, watch the game with you guys. We're
giving stuff away.
Signed Cale Makar's stick.
Yeah.
Signed Nathan McKinnon photo.
Yeah.
Those are two future Hall of Famers
they are.
There.
They're the Murray and Jokic of the Avs.
No offense to Yoel Kiviranta, but that's something right there.
Listen, we're not getting you out here just to have a little bit of a now what player do you want to upset?
I'm sorry, I had to throw it straight at somebody.
Yeah, you had to go Yoel Kiviranta. Look, there's no Ivan stuff hanging out on the table today.
There we go. TJ Tynan.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, it's also a Ticket Thursday. We have your chance to win tickets to see Golden State's final trip to Denver as they fight to make the play-in tournament. We got your keyword right now. You need to text the keyword SILVER right now to 303-504-0925 with your first and last name, and you're entered. The Wilhite Law Firm gives you the chance to win big on and off the court. Visit them at wilhitewins.com.
Now, hold on. Go ahead. Finish the read.
Again, this hour's keyword is silver.
Say it like Yukon Cornelius. Did you not grow up? Silver! From the old Rudolph cartoon or whatever that was.
I didn't watch it.
The weird puppets.
Oh, they were puppets?
You don't remember they're not like claymation.
Okay,
they're those stop-action puppets.
Yeah.
If you've not seen it, well, I forgot. You're maybe not up. Your household maybe didn't have it on all the time.
There's that, too. There's
some religious divide there.
We had the dreidel episode of
right.
Rugrats
There you go.
on.
Where Ross is trying to introduce his kid, Ben, to, what was it, the only costume he could find? It's like the rhinoceros or something.
Sure. Shout out to Friends.
The Aardvark, I think.
And their Hanukkah episode.
Their Hanukkah, yeah. I forgot. I guess I can't give you a hard time. Well, that ruins it.
Your keyword is silver. Text it right now, 303-504-0925. Take us to see Denver and Golden State. When we come back, Andy, we got NFL ref drama with the
we got to talk about it. The refs and the NFL are not talking.
Yep.
What will it mean?
Yep, and plus we'll talk a little Broncos. Backup quarterback. It's important. That backup quarterback's important. We learned that just a couple months ago. That's all next on Kreckman and Lindahl. Kreckman and Lindahl rolling on a Thursday. It's a Ticket Thursday. We have your chance to win tickets to see Golden State's final trip to Denver as they fight to make the play-in tournament. Text the word SILVER right now to 303-504-0925, and you are entered. Text your first and last name as well, along with the keyword SILVER to 303-504-0925. We'll announce our winner just before Avs pregame at 5:30. Good luck. Andy Lindahl, Mark Springer out here at Rhinehouse, 14th and Market, hanging out before that Avs and Jets pregame. Andy's going to stay and watch that with you tonight at Rhinehouse. Sign Cale Makar's stick. Sign Nathan McKinnon photo. Lots of great German food, brats.
Oh, brats, pretzels. The pretzels are legit. I think I might get one of those, but they've got some good brats that you can pair with there. And they've, of course, got a sampler platter, a little chicken, a little burger. Get on down.
Still got bocce ball? You still got bocce ball here? Two
down, 2 up. There's one right here.
Hell yes. They got everything.
Yeah, you're just sitting
here at Rhinehouse. Got
so.
NCAA tournament action starting up here in about 40 minutes. Sweet 16 getting underway. Andy, let's go to the NFL, though. NFL is king. And you know what I think, Andy? I think the NFL secretly loves drama.
Well, there's no doubt about that. But listen, they've got right now, for those that are missing it, and I know you're not locked in on it because you're not going to have a game to bet on for, 6 months, right? 5 months, how far away we are from getting the NFL season underway. I guess you got preseason football.
Hall of Fame game can't come soon enough.
But the NFL and its refs are trying to come to an agreement right now, and they're at a major impasse. And there's a bunch of reporting out there about how the NFL is laying the groundwork to have replacement refs ready to go if they can't get this thing figured out. They're supposed to be negotiating over the last 3 days. That hasn't happened. Last report was the NFL kind of walked away from the table. They'd had enough. I don't know the particulars of what they're getting down to as far as money, compensation. You know, the NFL has said for a while they'd like these officials to be full-time. I know that's one of the issues they've been talking about is I think they want full-time refs to try to get better officiating done.
Why aren't they full-time? Is it because they only work?
Because a lot of these dudes are lawyers and doctors and have these really cush jobs where they already make nice livings. And so now, look, as modern times go along, maybe there's more dedicated, like, lifers, if you will, quote-unquote, that are now officials. But a lot of, like, your head of the crews were attorneys and practiced law during the week. You know what I mean? Making fat cash the other days at that, they weren't reffing
when
the game.
When I see them flag Riley Moss for pass interference and it wasn't pass interference, you know what now I'm going to think to myself, glad you're not my attorney.
That's right.
Or I'm going to prison.
I'd like to sue you over that thing, matter of fact. So, and by the way, keyword silver.
Silver.
Silver. 303-504.
Like Adam Silver. Roger Goodell's counterpart.
Well, we've had copper, silver. So
yeah, we got a metal thing.
We got the metal.
Here.
Well, you know, they are playing the American goalie tonight, and Connor Hellebuck that won a gold medal.
He got a gold medal. He got the medal of, like, freedom or something.
Well, you know what?
Cool.
As a matter of fact, did the Avs – do we have an Av that got a copper? No, there's not a copper medal. What is it, a bronze?
Medal. They should make it a copper medal. Change the copper.
I don't know what the hell the copper
bronze
was for,
is out,
so
copper's in.
There it is, precious metals. But that must be what's in Winnipeg. I don't know. But look, the NFL is serious about this, right? So I was asking you, though, whether it's the officials, and we can talk about a call that you had witnessed. I didn't quite see that call in the Pittsburgh, the Pirates versus Mets game earlier, but there was a challenge, and you thought it was pretty interesting that the change that this challenge brought about, it might have gone a different way another time, but it didn't this time. But to me, here's my question for you. When it comes to the NFL officials, and I think in any sport, do all of these officials have to be careful about how far they push it? Now, one of the things that I frankly – I think is getting a little out of hand right now is AI and robots and what we're using them for and replacement of workforce and all that other kind of stuff. But I do think some of these officials better be careful because I think your job could get these officials, if you push it first off, you've kind of had some rough moments in some of the biggest games of the year over the last couple of years in the playoffs at the time when everybody's watching, right?
Yeah.
Secondly, I just think if you ask for too much, I don't know how much ground you have to fight these guys when already the NFL has instituted kind of the big brother rule. How many times did we see last year where somebody watching a fancy 4K HD TV buzzed into the referee? Remember, we had the one call in the national TV game. I can't remember if it was Broncos or not, but that national TV game where mid-call the ref said, never mind, we're not calling that. It's been confirmed it's something else. We're switching to this call because somebody in a kind of a command center was watching the game, already watched the replay, and buzzed down as to what it was. You don't mean to tell me they couldn't do that? Like, again, whether it's AI or just crews that sit there with TVs at their disposal instead of trying to figure this out in live action, I could see some of these refs getting outsourced if they fight this too much.
Yeah, okay, so let's tie a couple things in here because, it's funny. The other night, Berto and I are talking about this on the Blitz, and one thing, I don't know if I said this on air, but it crossed my mind. I was just like, couldn't you just have robot refs or AI refs? Like, what would AI refs look like? Well, I know, like, in Major League Baseball right now, we have the ABS now, the automated balls.
Tell everybody about that replay challenge. That was interesting.
Yeah, so I'm watching Mets Pirates on Peacock.
You know what it was? It was on Channel 9.
Oh, it was?
It was.
Okay,
I was like, it's on NBC.
Yeah. Broadcast TV, opening day, that's fun.
That's wild.
Now NBC and Peacock have a baseball package and Netflix at opening night. But I'm watching this game, and I saw my first ABS challenge. And so Freddie Peralta, a former Brewers pitcher. I guess he's a Met now. I didn't even realize that. He's a very good pitcher. He gets the opening day start, and it's like a 2-2 count to a Pirates player. Catcher is set up low and away. Freddie Peralta misses his spot high and in. But the TV broadcast, and didn't they say they wanted to take the strike zone away from the TV
they did.
broadcast?
Well, because they don't want a delay happening, and the dugout can see. Or on the Fox box.
Sure.
That we got to challenge that.
Yeah.
And then somehow that's why they were saying that the batter can't get any help deciding whether to challenge.
But as a viewer, I love that strike zone.
I know, but you're not going to see it anymore.
Well, it was on today, and
really,
yes, it was.
Because what I had read in the preseason or whatever, in spring training, they weren't supposed to have that up there.
And so, one, you get the benefit as a viewer of having the strike zone there, and you can clearly see, bam, that's right on the inside paint, even without the strike box. You could probably tell that caught the inside edge, but I'm thinking, he missed his spot, badly. So it was supposed to be low and away, was high and in. And usually an umpire is going to say, even if it was a strike, you missed your spot so badly, this is a ball no matter what. I think it was actually a full count. So the Pirates batter walks to first base, but nope, real quick. I couldn't tell if it was catcher or pitcher who challenged, but somebody challenged. Probably the catcher. Patted
they don't want the pitchers challenging because the pitchers don't ever think they missed.
And they looked at it. It took like 5 seconds tops, and strike three, you're out, inning over.
So what you're saying, for those that maybe didn't follow that, just again, real quickly, because normally the umpire won't reward you missing.
Yeah.
The catcher sets up low and away, and it's still high.
That's one of those, the
unwritten rule.
Unwritten rule things, where you would traditionally, for the history of this sport, even it could almost be right down the middle, but because you missed your spot so bad, they're just like, nah, it's ball four. And even if it's close, nah, it's ball four.
Right.
Not anymore.
It's still in the zone.
It's in the zone,
so
baby.
They don't care.
But, okay, that's something you can automate. It's very easy to automate. Ball strikes. How do you computer pass interference in the NFL?
Well, you get cameras set up, more cameras set up, and you could if you wanted to. Now, this would not be necessarily cheaper, but it might be. I don't know. The NFL's great at this. But you get cameras watching every position on the field, and there's more of them. And you've got dedicated people back in a TV room in a central area, so you're traveling less people that are using these cameras to watch the play. And they're dedicated just like it would be coach's film. I'm dedicated to watching the receivers on this side, and others got the receiver on that side. I got the all 11. I'm watching the line. Now, you'd still need a couple 3 guys out there, so to speak, and gals or whatever people will say. But I could see them ultimately setting up a big, they already own all these tall office spaces in these tall office towers in New York, whole floor dedicated to where every game has people in a central location, not in the environment, not getting influenced by everything, watching it and calling it how it's supposed to happen. And if there's a penalty, you buzz into the 1 or 2 people that represent the officials down there that go out and make the announcement to the crowd as to exactly what had happened. And again, just like we saw the guy get it buzzed into him as to what the ruling was, you could have maybe 3 people tops, throw a flag, boom, throw a flag, here's what we're calling, boom. It all happens.
You need that flag thrown instantly.
Yeah. And there's still a guy there to maybe watch real close inside the lines, right? The ref umpire maybe don't go away. But with enough TV cameras, they could do everything from a central location.
You would need like close-up shots on the wide receivers as they're running their routes.
But they could also just think about how you've got those. Look, they walk around with those 360 cameras on sticks already. They're just all along the sideline.
Mm-hmm. Drones.
Well,
what if Bo Nix hit a drone?
Yeah, what if somebody's pass hits the drone? Didn't we have a kick? It wasn't a drone. It was the zip line cam.
Sure,
that kick
that
hit in
happens
London,
from time to time.
But anyway, look, I just think we got to get to break. But I think that I think the refs in all these sports need to be a little bit careful about how they push back on some of these things.
You don't think the NFL's thinking right now?
Hey, you know what I'd like, frankly? I'd like the NBA to find a way. You know what? Bring me the robots from the NBA. Because I'm getting tired of seeing the personal grudges get played out like we saw in the Nuggets game last night.
If you were calling an NBA game straight up based off of AI read off of it, but how many because certain
you
touches
couldn't do the carry anymore.
You're right. Like every little thing, AI would be like, "That's a foul."
Right. Right.
There does need to be some let them play. You do kind of need the human eye on it, no matter what.
No, you're right. No, I don't disagree with
you.
But I'm just saying, if the refs are going to cost them too much money.
Don't tell me that the NFL's not thinking to themselves, oh, you want more money,
Yeah, we don't need all of you on spot.
You know what would be cheaper would be a robot.
But see, again, somebody already texted in, do we want all this stuff called?
Sure.
Because to your point,
yeah, it would make if AI's watching if they could do that, and they're going to see any little bit of contact, they're going to because that's what the rule is.
Zone story is perfect.
If you're going by the rule book, and that's what the computers are going to go by is the rule book. I mean, it would be wild to see sports officiated by the letter of the law.
I don't think we want that.
All right, we're out at Ryan House. I'm Mark Springer with Andy Lindahl. Stop by Avs Jets pregame coming up at 5:30. Andy's going to stay and watch the Avs with you. Cale Makar signed stick, Nathan McKinnon signed photo. Get some good food out here at Ryan House. Again, your keyword is silver. It's a ticket Thursday. 303-504-0925. Text the keyword silver for your chance to win Denver and Golden State tickets. It's the Kreckman and Lindahl Show on Altitude Sports Radio. Welcome back, Kreckman and Lindahl. Mark Springer in for Nate Kreckman alongside Andy Lindahl. We're out at Rhinehouse, 14th and Market in downtown Denver. Come by, say hi. I'm here till 5:30. Then I'm going to go home and watch the Avs because I got my setup for Between the Pipes at home.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be there. I'll talk with Alex Ryan-Emmy after Avs Jets tonight on Altitude social media channels like Twitter/X, Twitch, and YouTube. And then Andy's going to stay and watch the game with you fine folks here tonight. He's going to give away a Cale Makar signed stick and a Nathan McKinnon signed photo. Whoa.
Yeah, we got a lot going on, so you need to get down here. 14th the Market is the place. Stop on by. You know where it is. We've been doing stuff here for years. See, again, I love this place, and yet I'm having flashbacks to last spring when it was the last Avs game I had to do here. So.
Yeah, we're out at Rhinehouse in the playoffs a lot, so.
And that was a weird day because if you remember, I left here when it was Avs Game 7 and the Nuggets were, I think, were killing their Game 7. We had the double dip-a-doo or whatever that was.
Sure. I think it's looking better this year, Andy. Everyone except for Nick Waugh between the Nuggets and the Avs is healthy.
They got to get him healthy, though. Nick Waugh, that's the kind of player that you'd want for a game like tonight against Winnipeg.
Oh,
you want big
guy,
bodies in front of Hellebuck.
Winnipeg's got that. They're a big team with a really good goalie. You can also, starting here, just after 5:10, the NCAA tournament's back. The Sweet 16 is back. The NCAA tournament lives on Altitude Sports Radio. For coverage of the Sweet 16 on tonight and tomorrow, turn on AM 950. Starting with Texas and Purdue coming up here at 5 p.m. The NCAA tournament on Altitude Sports Radio is powered by the Reputation Law Group, specializing in divorce and DUI matters. To schedule a consultation with these attorneys, go to thereputationlawgroup.com. And I'm sure that Nate Kreckman is going to be tuned in to Illinois and Houston. In Houston? I didn't realize this game was in Houston. I guess those regions can be favorable sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's just how it works out sometimes. It seems a little – how often have we wondered – I used to always wonder, why would they not put like they send the Buffs or the Rammies out to – the other side of the country, and it's like if you would get better, why not?
Because we get no respect,
Let's
Andy. We get
keep
no
it
respect.
Regional, you know what I mean?
Colorado's the Rodney Dangerfield.
Wouldn't you think you would get more attendance if you kept teams near the actual home base of their school? Because some of these games don't get anybody there.
Yeah, but you know what they think? They think Colorado basketball, Colorado State basketball. This is what they think. I'm not trying to be mean. This is what they think. Who cares?
Well, I'm sick of them thinking that way. How about that?
Putting the Nuggets on at 9.
Maybe I don't give a damn about DePaul, Philly guy. What do you think of that?
Putting the Nuggets on at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
We get no respect.
Nothing. Never. Anywhere.
Hey, the Broncos had a Zoom meeting today with Rutgers quarterback Athan Kaliakmanis. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Zach Stevens at DNVR tweeting this out today. In his 2 years at Rutgers, Kaliakmanis had 45 total touchdowns to only 14 picks and threw for nearly 6,000 yards. Broncos quarterback coach Logan Kilgore led the meeting. You know what? Maybe I'm saying this guy's name wrong. I don't really care. I find it interesting that they're just talking with a quarterback that they could possibly draft.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. Again, he's got some pretty gaudy numbers. Now, I don't think this is a guy they're drafting to come in and take the place of Bo Nix. 6'3", 212, just pulled up his ESPN profile.
Are Sean and Bo's relation, is it that bad?
Yeah.
That they're drafting his replacement?
This guy's got no ankle injuries in his history, so Sean
nothing's predisposed.
Got his antenna up.
That's
psyched.
Sean's number one question right now to every draft prospect. Is anything predisposed?
Well, his QBR was 69.9. What do you think of that? Maybe that's what got caught there.
Nice.
Here's the thing about it, and you said, well, what would they do with this quarterback? How would they?
Where would he play? You just gave Sam Ellinger
a contract,
$2 million. Yeah. He was making just over $1 million last year. They gave him a raise up to $2 million.
Yeah, so first off, I think you always have to be drafting young quarterbacks to see what you can't mine. Remember, I don't think anybody thought Trevor Siemian was going to be a starter for this team when they got a hold of him, and yet somehow there he was finding himself a starter just a couple years later as all kind of hell broke loose and Brock Osweiler left. So you've got to prepare for situations like that. I think every good NFL team is trying to find a guy of value. Now, look, I don't know. Maybe this guy's going to be the great sleeper and the next Tom Brady. I wouldn't put my money down on it, but
never know.
You don't ever know. So you got to have that guy that you're trying to develop. And listen, let's just go to the matter of you said right there. What about Jared Stidham? Well, I do think that Nate Kreckman's onto something when he says that after what you saw last year, if Sean Payton decided maybe I don't need a full season of Jared Stidham in my life again, like I don't think Sean walks in there and grits his teeth and just sees and gives the death stare to Jared Stidham every time they're in the facility, nor do I think that'll happen in the future. But I will ask you this. Everybody told us the reason why you have a Jared Stidham around is he's not going to make the mistake that costs you the game.
That's what I thought.
That is his biggest selling point as a backup quarterback, right?
Good game manager.
And yet he made the mistake that cost you the game in the AFC Championship.
It's my number one reason why they lost.
Yeah, so to me, I don't need a Jared Stidham on the roster anymore. Unfortunately,
okay.
I hate to be that harsh about
it. Look, man, they got obviously the 62nd pick in the second round. They got a pair of fourths, a fifth, and 3 sevenths. You spending any of those on quarterback? And what do you do if you draft a quarterback? Because one of them you could practice. Are you carrying 3 quarterbacks? Probably not. You can practice if you take this Kaliak-Manis guy, with one of your 3 7th-round picks that are all like in the last 10 picks of the draft. If you want to make him Mr. Irrelevant like the Niners did Brock Purdy, okay, fine. You can that's a guy you could probably get onto your practice squad, but. What about Ellinger? Is he not the practice squad quarterback as he was last year? Or is Ellinger the backup, and they're going to get Stidham the heck out of town?
Yeah, if I were the Broncos, I would not. Now, again, I don't know what a Jared Stidham brings you anymore, right?
How can you trust the guy after the backwards chest pass? I'm not trying to be mean, man.
No, I'm with you. But again, we just said it right there, Spring. If you're not, you made the mistake that cost you the game. That was allegedly the MO of what you would not do.
Yeah.
Wasn't that our talking point?
Yeah,
don't
make mistakes. Don't try to be a hero.
Yeah, and he did the one thing. You look like a rookie out there when they needed you to at least look that way. And so maybe they'd have been better off playing Sam Ellinger. I don't know. I mean, the guy was around the offense the whole year. Who knows? So I would not be surprised if they at least fielded calls on it. And I don't know who's calling you. I don't know what kind of value. And frankly, he probably brings you the same round pick of what you said. You got 2 7th-rounders already?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so do you need another 7th-rounder? I don't know. But I would not be surprised if it – and look, maybe what you do is you wait till the preseason. You wait for a team that loses a quarterback, because somebody will, and you shop Stiddy to them. So, but again, I don't know how much damage he did to he had it. Not only did he make that mistake, he made it in a game the entire league was watching. You know what I mean?
I'll be surprised if Jared Stidham's the backup quarterback this season. Sean's the type of guy.
Got a little red rear to him.
Yeah, when
he remembers things.
He hated Russell Wilson Russ did take some sacks and make some plays where it was like, dude, that's no. And that's what Stidham did on that play. That was a Russell Wilson-esque play. And, Sean hated Russ. That's the type of play that Sean probably saw Russ in and gives him PTSD. I don't know. Maybe Ellinger's the backup quarterback, and they are going to draft a little project guy who you can stick on the practice squad, and who knows? Maybe he turns into something. You Malik Willis him,
Sure.
Maybe you trade him. I know Willis didn't get traded, but hey, you spurred the stupidest thought out of me because you said that Sam Ellinger knows the Broncos system. You know who else knows Broncos system? Davis Webb, 31 years old. If Phillip Rivers can play. How do you feel, Andy, about the offensive coordinator saying, "I'll do it myself"?
I like it.
I know the system. We'll
do it live. Well, not going to tape it. I'm just going to go in there and I'm going to run it myself. He could.
Davis just Jared Stidham backwards chest pass. I don't do that. Give me
a
helmet.
Give me a helmet. Shape and I'm going to go do it.
I don't know. Maybe Ellinger's back up.
Ultimate faith in your players.
And maybe Alan Kaliak-Manis.
Yep.
It's like Brandon McManus instead of the Mick. It's Kaliak.
Yeah. Handsome fella. So,
yeah.
There you go.
Appears to be Greek. That appears to be some sort of Greek name.
Yep.
That's probably where Jonas Valanciunas is playing next year, by the way. Is in Greece.
Won't be here. I don't think there'll be any hold up there.
All right, we got the high five, the 5 biggest stories of the day from around the NFL coming up next. We also got another keyword on a Nuggets ticket Thursday. Nuggets Warriors tickets, we'll get that to you at 5:20. Then we're out at 5:30 for the Avs and the Jets. Andy and I are at Rhine House. So much going down. 14th and Market. Come say hi. Cale McCarr signed stick. Nathan McKinnon signed photo. Avs Jets tonight with Andy Lindahl. It's all going down at Rhine House and right here on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5.
Guys, Andy Lindahl here for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. Now here we are out on remote again, and it's for some reason about when I go out on remote, people watch Twitch and YouTube and seem to notice the old weight loss a little bit more. You know, I got this help through the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, getting back down to a weight that's really comfortable for me and I'm comfortable with, I'm happy about. It started with me going in there and getting the low testosterone treatment, looking at my T levels. You know, low testosterone is a real issue for a lot of men, and it can lead to a lot of things like brain fog, reduced sex drive, low gains in the gym, low energy, poor sleep, all that. And now, not only does the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic help you with your testosterone levels, but they've got 4 new targeted body composition plans to help support metabolism, improve gains in the gym, and more, featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1, PDA, and more. I'm on the GLP-1 right now. I've been on the testosterone for a while, but been doing the GLP-1. It's been just working wonders for me. Down over 40 pounds, looking to get down 50 total, hoping to hit the goal weight of 200 here in the next couple of weeks, and it feels like that's really attainable. And this is all helpful, all done through the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. They help me go in, get that first visit done, let them test your T levels, discuss all these programs with you. They got great brochures on all of the different programs that they can offer you. First visit there is $99, costs you just the $99 with a T and a PSA test. But if you start on testosterone treatment the day you visit, that appointment's free. So go get in there, have a discussion with them, and help them find what you'd like to look like again. I have a lot of guys reaching out and asking me about this stuff. Yeah, you can start looking like you wanted to, even though you may be in your 50s like me. 720-440-7900. 7900 is the number. 5 locations to serve you, including Fort Collins and the Springs, and a great revamp location in Castle Rock. Find them at RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Kreckman and Lindahl. Nate Kreckman's out. Mark Springer in for Nate. Andy Lindahl here with me. We're out at Rhine House, 14th and Market downtown in Denver. Come by, say hi. Avs Jets pregame, bottom of the hour. Andy's going to watch it with you starting at 6. Sign Cale McCarstick. Sign Nathan McKinnon photo. Get out here to Rhine House. You can win both those prizes. And enjoy some nice food. At Rhine House here at 14th and Market. Got another keyword for Nuggets Ticket Thursday coming up 20 minutes after 5. Your chance to see the Nuggets and Warriors this Sunday at Ball Arena. But right now, Chris Mitchell, who's back at the shop in Lone Tree, it is time for the 5 biggest stories of the day from around the NFL. It is the High Five.
Whew, all right. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Are you wondering what's for dinner tonight? Try Papa Murphy's Pizza. They make delicious pizza, and you can bake it when you're ready. Order online at papamurphys.com. J.K. Dobbins was on the NFL Network, everybody. Hey, how about that? He was talking about all kinds of things on the network, talking about the Jalen Waddle trade, talking about how the Broncos have an embarrassment of riches. That's his quote. He, of course, also talked about the process of getting re-signed with the Broncos and staying with Denver. Here's a little bit of audio from that interaction.
It was a long, crazy process to get to that point. But I'm happy to be home. Denver is home, man. I've made, a good connection with the fans out here. I love my teammates. I love my coaches. I love the ownership. I love everything about Denver. So it was great to get a deal done and be able to stay home where I think I will thrive. I was thriving last year, but something unfortunate happened, which that's part of the game. But this year, I don't think that's going to happen.
How we feel about Dobbins opting for the technique of positive visualization to stay healthy on the field next season?
Well, I sure hope he stays healthy. I don't care if it's positive visualization. I don't care if it's cyborg technology, making him half robot. It'd be really cool if he could stay healthy, Andy, unless they're drafting a running back. Unless they're you're going in. Did you see Najee Harris had a visit with the Seahawks?
Interesting.
They're looking for a little bit of a Kenneth Walker replacement, and Zach Charbonnet has his knee issue, the ACL. They're the champs. They have interest in Najee. I think the Broncos need some sort of, call it insurance or just another option. You have to account for the possibility JK's not playing a full 17, right?
Yeah, you do. Look, as far as I don't want him to think he's getting hurt, that's for sure. So, yeah, I'm with you. I like the positive visions and all that kind of stuff. But, the reality is, now, look, he got hurt on a hip drop tackle that probably should have been called as people went back and looked at the video.
Sure.
They were going to talk about how they're going to outlaw that tackle.
Hey, you know who would have called that hip drop tackle? AI would have.
Yeah. Along with the 3 holdings that occurred on the line as well. Yeah, I'm with you. Look, you asked me what they need in the draft. You need a running back and a tight end, frankly. That's
tight end, what's the ranking,
you probably need well, for me, it's tight end.
Yeah, it's got to be tight end number 1. Yeah.
I cannot believe we think we're going to go in, and I hope they don't believe that they think they're going to go in another season with the exact same tight end room. And I don't know, maybe, as Jeff Lakewald said, maybe it really is just, maybe it's just going to be 3 wide all day and they don't even worry about employing a receiving tight end. I don't know, but that just blows my mind. But, look, they need a young middle linebacker as well. It's going to be interesting. That's why I would not be surprised if they do trade a couple of the current players to try to pick up a few more picks. But we'll see, man. Again, this isn't a great draft allegedly once you get to rounds 4 through 7, which is basically Saturday. So I don't know how much you want to be giving up for what could be mid-talent in the first place.
I said before free agency started, if J.K. Dobbins was the guy, if that was their signing, it's a re-sign, but if that was the guy and they were going to run that back, I'm okay with that. He was the 3rd leading rusher in the NFL before he got hurt, which is kind of crazy because it feels like they didn't use the guy that much. But he was effective. He was very effective. He's got a chip on it. He likes the team. He likes the culture. He's bought in. His teammates like him. I'm okay with it. But, again, you just got to account for the possibility that, that he's not going to play the whole season.
Both those rooms, the tight end, frankly, probably in the linebacker room, although they got some young linebackers that we like beyond what they had last year. I'm less worried about that. But when it comes to tight ends and running backs, they've got to have at least one intriguing – and, look, maybe I'm being unfair to R.J. Harvey. Probably am. But
he could take a step. That's possible.
Yeah, and I still like R.J. Hart. It's the Bidet, McLaughlin.
Sure.
Like, again, please replace those guys.
Yeah.
We don't need both of those guys still on the team next year.
You got to think with, one of their with the fourth, the fifth, the handful of sevens, the running back should be one of them. Tight end should be one of them. Running back should be one of them. Like you said, they'll probably address inside linebacker, safety as well. I think those are the spots you're looking at right now. What's next, Chris?
High five.
All right, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but those ongoing labor negotiations, of course, between the NFL and the Referees Association broke off earlier than scheduled this week. Talks were scheduled for today as well as yesterday, according to sources, but ended after yesterday morning's session. The collective bargaining agreement expires on May 31st, and concern about the distance between the sides has prompted the NFL to begin the process of vetting and hiring replacement officials for the 2026 season. On a scale of 1 to 10, how scared are you guys of a scab ref screwing the Broncos in at least one game next season?
Well, I think everybody should think about it because, again, it was the Hail Mary famous Monday Night Football play that Seattle and Green Bay that the refs screwed up that immediately brought the NFL to get the refs back in the middle of that week.
Well, it sounds
20 years ago.
It sounds like if the regular refs can't reach an agreement for a new deal with the NFL, that if they do go replacement refs, that they're going to hold their hand a lot this time around. A lot of help from
the eye in the sky,
New Jersey, New York, wherever this Secaucus.
Whatever it is, yeah.
And maybe that'll work. I don't think there's going to be issues. There's no doubt that there will be issues. Someone will do something stupid, and it'll be like, the replacement refs. But you know what, Andy? You know what we like? Well, you know what everyone likes? They like drama. Something to yell about that week.
Yeah.
But how much pushes fans away?
But here's the thing is, well, not only that, and if the TV ratings, although I don't think they'd ever suffer, we'd just be more mad about it. But here's the thing. The last time they used replacement refs, there was not legalized gambling and everybody using an app on their phone. Now you screwing up some of these calls could have a much greater effect.
Okay, well, hey, I know going into the game that there's warning, replacement refs are in this game. Buyer beware. They call it gambling for a reason. It's not like the NFL are the NFL refs perfect. They call that all the time.
Not by a long shot, but I'm just telling you, we all said how much worse could they be, and then we found out exactly on a Monday night how much worse they could be.
Goes to show how hard it is.
Let's not forget that is all I'm trying to say.
These games. Chris, what's next?
High five.
So Tom Brady said he explored the possibility of coming out of retirement and returning to the NFL, adding that the league did not, quote, like that very much. Brady last played in 2022 and is a current minority owner at the Las Vegas Raiders. He also emphasized in his interview with CNBC that he is, quote, very happily retired. Now, I'm not one for hypotheticals, but since we're playing in this space, what team could Tom Brady theoretically start for in the NFL next season? 49-year-old Tom Brady. If he decided to retire.
I don't know. Did the Colts call Tom Brady? Did the Broncos call Tom Brady? Probably not. The league said no. We don't. Was it because he's I don't know.
He's an owner now and a commentator, and I think they're just kind of like, look, dude, you want to be an owner. We've already had to go and try to make some amendments to your agreement to talk to people because you got everybody all feisty, and now you think you're going to come back again. Who are you going to play for? Does he think he's going to play for the Raiders? I mean, seriously. At least if he comes back and plays. Now, it would be probably really psyched if he did that. Fox, get him out of that contract that they signed.
Could he do color commentary while playing quarterback for the team that he owns? Just get him a little mic. Just get him a little mic and a headset.
The thing that looks like a pimple.
Those little tiny little mic.
Skin-colored mic covers that they have that just look like a boil on their cheek.
That like the Backstreet Boys use. Because they got to do all their dance moves while they sing. Therefore, this little thin little headset mic is pretty handy.
I got to ask you, are you shocked at all that he might be thinking? I knew Tom Brady wasn't going to love TV.
Well, of course he's going to think it.
I don't know why he agreed to go TV.
He's one of those itch guys. He gets the itch.
I've told you, we talked about this last hour with Nikola Jokic.
He sacrificed his marriage for football.
Yeah, his whole family. Oh, you want me back? I'm good for about 4 weeks. I'm going back to play.
Yeah, he let karate guy get with
his jiu-jitsu guy. Go ahead and take my place in the bed, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. What's next, Chris?
High five.
Well, the Browns did something interesting with Myles Garrett's contract. What'd they do? Well, they modified the language in his contract to push some of his payments from the 15th day of the league year, March 25th, to just 1 week before the regular season. That means the Browns don't have to pay last year's Defensive Player of the Year his fancy bonuses until September of this year, or at all if he ends up getting traded. Eagle Eye listeners may recall that Garrett wanted to trade out of Cleveland before signing a 4-year, $160 million extension with the Brownies. We think the Browns are just trying to scrounge some pennies to spend in the rest of this free agency period, or is this a pebble before a potential avalanche?
No, he's going to get traded. I read a couple articles that said this basically sets up so he can get traded.
Wow.
Makes his contract much more tradable.
I mean, obviously, I hear the moving money, converting this to that, like NFL.
Well, it allows you to now trade him and let the new team rework whatever they want to so they don't have to.
You can always move money, convert this to that, creates some cap space. I don't know. The NFL salary cap, is it real? It might not even be real because
it's real for the Browns. I can tell you
that.
Well,
they got that big old – now, Deshaun Watson is back.
Yeah, that's
big old – what do you call it?
Ball
I was going to say matzo ball. Your phrase, Andy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money
that's
still.
That's a Jerry Seinfeld's phrase. That is a big matzo ball hanging out there.
What's good? Is Shadur the guy? It's your guy Todd Monken.
I don't know what he's doing.
Inspiring hire that they made.
Who immediately fought with his DC and made Jim Schwartz leave town right away without firing him.
Do you have is there a Jerry Judy's there?
Well, everybody is a Ty Simpson. I think Ty Simpson is. Everybody thinks the Browns might jump on Ty Simpson because they got 2 first-round picks.
Man, if Myles Garrett, and the odds are the Browns will be bad again, and he'll be if they can trade him. Could Max Crosby and Myles Garrett be available at the trade deadline? We talked to Ryan McFadden, covers the Raiders for ESPN. He said he thought that Max gets traded. If he does get traded, it would be in season by the deadline.
I could see the Raiders and a team, and maybe it's the same thing with Garrett. Some team, as Ryan McFadden laid out, thinking, you know what, we're in go-for-it mode anyway. I hate the draft class that's left. We need a pass rusher. There aren't any we care about. How about a second rounder and you get out from under that contract? All right, now we'll do it.
Sure.
I don't think the Raiders will ever get the haul that they originally got on paper for Max Crosby. But if they have a guy that they like and it's a second rounder and some other team.
Or what if Max Crosby, it's going to be fascinating to watch him this season. What if he comes out in his beast mode and he's double middle fingers to the Ravens, my knee is fine, and now the Raiders could get the 2 firsts again maybe? I don't know.
I don't think they'll ever get the 2 firsts again, but I do think a team could go, or maybe, I don't know. The Broncos traded number 30 to the Dolphins. Maybe they're like, yeah, everything stinks. Here's number 30 for Max Crosby. You want that? That's all we'll give you, but we'll take him.
All right, that's the high five. Welcome aboard, Chris Mitchell. Sometimes we only make it through 3 stories. Appreciate all the hard work you put in.
He's officially been baptized.
On stories 4 and 5, though. He's Andy Lindahl. I'm Mark Springer. We're out at Ryan House. We're going to wrap up in the next segment because we got Avs, Jets, pregame coverage at 5:30. You can come down. You can watch that game with Andy Lindahl. And we got the NCAA tournament on here as well. Purdue up 6-5 over Texas early on in that game. We're out at Ryan House, 14th in Market. Sign Cale McCarr Stick, sign Nathan McKinnon photo. Come out, get some food, watch some sports, meet Andy Lindahl. We're going to wrap things up next before the Avs and the Jets. Also got a keyword on a Nuggets ticket Thursday for tickets to see the Nuggets and the Warriors this Sunday. That's next. All right, we're wrapping up. Kreckman and Lindahl here. Final segment is we're out early for the Avs and the Jets. Pre-game coverage coming up here in about 8 minutes. Mark Bertinoli will have that for you. Andy's going to stick around here at Ryan House. That's where we've been this afternoon. Andy's watching Avs Jets with you. And you can come and sign up to win a signed Cale Makar stick and a signed Nathan McKinnon photo. It is also a Ticket Thursday. We have your chance to win tickets to see Golden State's final trip to Denver as they fight to make the play-in tournament. Text the keyword PLATINUM right now to 303-504-0925 with your first and last name, and you're entered. The Wilhite Law Firm gives you the chance to win big on and off the court. Visit them at wilhitewins.com. Again, this hour's keyword is PLATINUM. We'll announce our winner here in just 5 or so minutes. Good luck. Andy, it's the Avs and the Jets tonight. Connor Hellebuck in net for Winnipeg. Mackenzie Blackwood. I find it interesting. He's getting the start tonight. He's getting 3 out of the 4. He got 3 out of the 4 starts on this road trip.
A little surprised by that. I mean, again, I've stated my position. And again, this is a this year thing only. I know the longer term future lies with Mackenzie Blackwood. But right now, look, the Avs have got to take advantage of every time they can put a team like this together. You already blew one last year. I'm sorry. You had a really good team last year, and now some of those guys are missing off this year's, version of it. You've got to start taking advantage, just like the Nuggets. Both the teams that occupy Ball Arena are in unique positions, and, you got to take advantage of this generational core that you have together, because we've already talked about how you won't see guys like this again. We talked about Murray and Jokic earlier in the program. Makar and McKinnon are the same way. And I just think right now, to me, over the balance of the season, as I said to Connor, I've said on this program before, Wedgwood has been the one that has been special. He's been special. Mackenzie Blackwood's been good. But again, Wedgwood, he did the other night in Pittsburgh, making a couple saves that you're not supposed to make.
Yeah, he did.
And that's how you steal games. Mm-hmm. So I, like you, am a little surprised that they're going with Blackwood this much. But whatever, as long as the guy that gets chosen for that night's game is good in net, really at the end of the day, who cares?
Got to imagine that, the Jets will play here Saturday night in Denver, that Wedgwood will start that one. But every night it's kind of an audition for these guys, but they love this competition. They're both playing at a high level. Obviously, Andy, yes, Scott Wedgwood has played today, but Scott Wedgwood has played at like the highest level. And I watch these other goaltenders have good numbers, but you watch Scott Wedgwood night in, night out. He looks like the best goaltender in the NHL. Right? It's unreal.
Interesting comment on Twitch from Miss Moxie May saying, I agree with you a lot, Andy, but I'm all for Blackwood getting consistent time so he can get going. How do we know he's going to get going this year? I mean, again, he may need a summer to get back into his groove. Or how about you look at it the other way? What if you could get Wedgwood going again to the elite level that was the first 2 months of the season?
Mm-hmm. Well, he looked like that on Tuesday.
Games,
he was on that level.
Am I over-speaking to how damn good that guy was to start the year? He was amazing.
Well, it was funny. They were winning games.
They should have won.
And that they were not winning when they had, like, Alexander Georgiev, I mean, he was stealing. They could win low-scoring games because Scott Wedgwood was the man, and he looked like the man on Tuesday night. Blackwood's looking better. He'll get the start tonight. Like I said, I expect Wedgwood on Saturday, and we're gonna fight. They're gonna fight this out until the end of the season, and then we'll see what the decision is.
And you know what? Maybe you do rotate. I don't know.
Maybe you do alternate and rotate in the playoffs. There's a ton of these are good problems to have.
They are, but I would say this: I would give Wedgwood the net first. Like I'm not.
That's where I'm at right now.
That first matchup in Dallas post Olympic break, I was disappointed it was Blackwood and not Wedgwood, and ultimately Wedgwood came in and got him to even to where they could get the points.
Yeah, he replaced Blackwood in that game,
but
who got lit up early.
I just thought it should have been Wedgwood. I just think Wedgwood's specialness more often this year has earned him the first start, if you will.
And Arturi Lehkonen is back for the Avs tonight. I mean, so Nick Waugh's the only player out. Between the Nuggets and the Avs, Nick Waugh's the only player out.
Have you heard anything about how long we're looking? Is this another one of these weird things?
Bednar said the other day he's going to miss some time. Sounds like another week to week.
Is this another he'll be back before the end of the regular season?
Seems like my guess, based on the verbiage, would be still back by the. So again, they keep losing. So. They keep losing guys, the Nuggets and the Avs, but nobody's been out for the entire season. Everybody has had the ability to come back before season's end. And look, if Nick Waugh's the one guy out, is a great trade deadline acquisition, but it feels like they almost made they made the Waugh trade thinking, Calgary's not going to do the Kadri trade. And then the next day they got him to do the Kadri trade. And they're like, well, I guess we'll take Nick Waugh too. He's like, Nick Waugh's an absolute luxury. Kadri's the one who was really a game breaker. So, hey, if Waugh's the one guy you're without and you got Lehkonen back, I mean, they got revenge on Pittsburgh in a big way. And Winnipeg beat Colorado recently, just like Pittsburgh did. Well, one revenge checked off. I think they're checking off another here tonight.
I hope so. I think
they're loaded, man.
I hope so.
They're loaded. All right, we have our winner on a ticket Thursday. Tickets to see.
I keep thinking Tuesday too. Let's go.
Thursday, Tuesday. We give tickets away. It's the Avs on Tuesdays, and it's the Denver basketball team here on Thursdays. Yeah. Chris, who's our winner for Denver Golden State tickets?
All right, your winner for this ticket Thursday is. Oh wow.
Chris is a big drum roll guy. Nate Kreckman would respect that. And it's Christmas vacation.
Joy to the world. Chris Strickland, congratulations, buddy. You won yourself some tickets.
Strickland. All right, he might
relation.
work for
Strickland going to the game.
Strickland Propane and Propane Accessories is probably where Chris Strickland works. He's going to go see Denver and Golden State on Sunday. Man, but the Nuggets and the Avs, dude, they're both making it to the second round. Because the Avs are going to get the 1 seed, and they'll advance over, whether it's L.A., Seattle, Nashville, whomever. And I'm telling you, if you're the Thunder and you're the Spurs, you do not want to see the Nuggets in the second round of the playoffs. And one of them, guess what? You're going to have to see the Nuggets in the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, if they can keep this version of themselves healthy, I think nobody wants to see that. But, let's get there first. Let's get everybody to the finish line healthy.
I'm a fate tempter.
I'm glad that you are. I've just been around too many teams where you're like, I've been on the road with teams where you're like, remember when it was fun beginning of the year? Now that everyone's hurt and it's not fun anymore.
I tell you, the only thing that can stop him is injuries. And it would be a shame. You kept everyone, safe of the season-ending injury to late March. With the finish line of game 1 of the playoffs for both teams is so close. If they both go in 100% healthy, like they're both essentially are right now, these are two extremely dangerous teams.
Nuggets, I hope so.
Nuggets included. They might not be the 1 seed like the Avs, but the Nuggets are extremely dangerous right now. Speaking of the 1-seeded Avs, you got them in Winnipeg to take on the Jets, and Mark Bertinoli has your pregame show right now. Good night, everybody.
The Altitude Sports Radio Network welcomes you to Colorado Avalanche Hockey.
I begged your pardon. It was going to be Landeskog. It's Brock Nelson instead. Face-off one. Devon Taves lets it go. Deflected. Rebound, and Nate just scores. It's a Marty party. And that's now 3 straight multi-point games for Marty Necas. 2 goals on the night.